100 years of the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf is the only sport where elite athletes can compete fairly against players with less talent when both give maximum effort. The handicap system takes into account the differences in skill levels as well as the difficulty of the course to properly allocate handicap strokes to ensure as even a match as possible. Of course, it's dependent on the integrity of the players' posting scores, which has not changed since the first rudimentary attempts in the 17th century. Today, handicaps are given with a tenth of a stroke. In the 18th century, the golfer's manual described 4 handicap options. Third one stroke every 3 holes. Half one, a stroke every 2 holes. One more, a stroke a hole, and 2 more, 2 strokes a hole. There was plenty of pre-round negotiating before settling, with many matches being won or lost on the first tee before the first ball was struck. The term handicap did not enter golf lexicon until the 1870s. The term originates from a popular pub trading game known as hand in cap. Post your scores and keep a handicap. It keeps the playing field level. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have 2 pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Doval, to represent the team tonight. And on the east side of the Bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls, with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Whitey and Watkins.
They're going to take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento.
Hey, you got to be careful these days. You know, we had that escaped.
Whitey.
We got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops, I did it again. So that's right. Hello, is this on?
No, Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
No.
Technically, I already started. But anyway,
That's
what
right.
I was saying, yeah.
We're learning the
That's
intro.
on me.
Guys, it's the second show.
That's right. You got to be careful these days. We had the escaped convict yesterday, right? They found him in Roseville.
Yeah.
Okay, and did you also hear about the guy, they call him Chiefs Addict?
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Yeah, and he's a guy that wears the wolf costume at Chiefs games. And last they saw him, he was in Albuquerque, and he robbed somebody, and they arrested him yesterday. Did you see where they arrested him?
I did not.
Lincoln, California.
What?
Yes, that's where they caught him.
Well, I hate to continue with the trend, but there was a stabbing at Levi Stadium at a soccer game, and they caught the guy here in Sacramento.
Really? Recently?
About a few miles from my house.
Man.
Lock your doors, ladies and gentlemen. Lock your doors.
Yeah, I saw that story yesterday about Chiefs Addict, and, it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if we should mention it. And then I was looking at it later. He was arrested in Lincoln, California. They'd lost track of the guy since he committed some robbery.
Did he do it in the wolf outfit? I would. I mean, actually, you're probably more famous as Wolf guy than John Stewart.
If you're dressed up in that, it's like, give me all your money. What are people going to go? Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
This guy's is he a wolf? Is he a person? Is he a crazy person? I just look out for the Raider guy who wears the face paint. That guy's got to be up to something too.
Yeah,
so.
I think I know who that is.
Okay.
So anyway, the good news is all these guys
you.
were caught, right? So that's the good news.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just
All that
be
matters.
careful.
Yes. Be careful. Lock your doors. Lock your windows too.
Did you watch Sacramento Kings last night?
Unfortunately, I did. Yeah, that thing was ugly for pretty much the entire game. Sometimes summer league basketball can be really, really tough to watch. And yesterday was definitely one of those times where both teams didn't have it. And this is now the second consecutive game where the Kings offense at points has just looked absolutely unwatchable.
Summer League, sometimes to me, it looks like the rims are too small, like they've got those rims from the county fair.
Yes,
you know,
exactly. Yeah, the warped rims.
And the ball has way too much air in it. And I know that's not true, but it looks like that, right? It's like, man, these guys can't dribble.
Clanking it. Yeah,
and the ball just bouncing all over the place, and guys are running all over.
It's ugly. It is some ugly stuff, and that's when you're reminded that, oh, yeah, like maybe 85 to 90% of these guys just aren't going to play in the NBA ever. And there's also the fact that these, like, that same percentage of guys are trying to earn contracts and not doing what the coach is instructing them to do because they're trying to show out or get something on film. It can be really, really tough sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's the nature of the game. And, it's sometimes you got to try and dig through the weeds and try and find what you're actually looking for. Like, is Colby Jones going to play well? Is Jordan Ford going to continue to show signs of looking like he can be the Kings' third point guard?
You and I were both on board with him, but not last night. He didn't.
Not last night. No, he and that's something you have to take note. Like, is that the end all be all? No, absolutely. That shouldn't ruin Jordan Ford's chances, but it is something you have to consider when it's like, okay, there needs to be a level of consistency there that you want to see if he is an NBA guy. Like, you need it. It's not just, okay, he can have a good night. A lot of guys can just have a single good night, but are you able to consistently put together good performances, especially against weaker competition? That's kind of what I would imagine Monty's looking for right now.
This is Whitey and Watkins. Thanks for being with us. Chris Watkins, we already have 2 comments on the YouTube chat regarding a particular Kings player who played last night. Can you guess who it is?
I cannot. No.
We have from TC, Edwards has to work on his inside game. Seriously, he had me livid last night. And Dwayne Baker says, I think Edwards will play better with the normal Kings roster around him. Some players are better with good players around them. So Kessler Edwards.
Dwayne Baker, do you want to take over this show for me? That is, I could not have put it better myself. I think there's a couple guys who are like that. And Kessler Edwards is absolutely one of those where, that's the tough thing about evaluating summer league talent sometimes. Like I mentioned, some guys are just out there trying to get a contract. They're not going to make the right swing pass. They're not going to make the right play. They're also not, if you drive to the lane and kick out, that doesn't mean they're going to make the shot and get you an assist. So with that, sometimes guys won't look as good in summer league as they would surrounded by real NBA talent. And I think Kessler Edwards is somebody who benefits greatly from having other people create shots for him. He can hit an open three. He can, focus his efforts more defensively when he's playing with the big club. These guys, Kessler Edwards isn't going to take anyone off the dribble. He's not really somebody who's going to drive the lane and force a finish or a foul or anything like that. He's a role player, and he kind of is that through and through. Like, if he's going to be successful in the NBA, it's going to be more as the 5th guy standing in the corner. And in summer league, you're not really going to get much value out of him putting the ball on the deck. You want to see, okay, he can excel in that role in any situation. And, again, this is just not really one of those situations where Kessler Edwards' game, makes him success for summer league.
Fairly or unfairly, to me, he's one of those guys who should be proving night in, night out in the summer league that he doesn't really belong at that level, and he's not doing that.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. I mean, if you were hoping, and I think people were, that Kessler Edwards could be something more than just that, come in and,
5 turnovers last night.
That's not great. Yeah,
No.
he that shows he can't have the ball in his hands really at all.
The ball had too much air in it, so that was
did.
part.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of not his fault. It was, yeah, he's just, if he wants to develop more than just being a spot up shooter, that's going to be the tough thing for him. But I think Kessler is a good enough shooter, spot up shooter, to stand in the corner and be that guy. And the Kings really only value his defense right now, in my opinion. Like, that's where he proves his worth for this team. And as long as he's showing strides there, that's what's important. And frankly, yesterday he really didn't look that great on defense either. He got beat a couple times, was late on closeouts, and it was a bad game for Kessler Edwards.
Yeah, I thought the Kings, it wasn't really reflected in the final numbers, but I thought they got beaten like drums on the perimeter too often.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were getting killed on the. It was just all around. I think they really struggled without Neemias Queta too. He left, I believe, in the first or second quarter and never returned. So
we don't even know what's wrong. Something with his foot or ankle.
Yeah, and that's not good for a big man. And this is now the second straight year where Queta has gotten hurt in summer league and had to be taken out. If they're not going to have Neemias Queta, their best rim protector, and they're not going to have Keegan Murray, who's their best player for the beginning of summer league, they're going to struggle to find much of any success because they're not built to really sustain either of those two guys not being there.
Yeah, it was a rough night, but I think there were two real bright spots for the Kings and Kings fans. One, of course, Colby Jones played really well, 8 of 13, had 19 points, playing the small forward position, at least starting there. And I know, the positional assignments don't mean as much as they used to, but that's still something in terms of his versatility. The other thing that was a real highlight was Isaiah Thomas's interview with Monty Bignaire, because we got some real insight into exactly what Monty is thinking and where this thing is headed, with questions like, so the playoffs, what's next?
Yeah, that was terrible. It was a horrible interview. And when I say, I have a lot of respect for everybody in the sports industry. I know how tough everyone's job is.
I just stepped all over the intro.
Exactly. So, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing. But I'm not joking when I say, Whitey, that you and I could have flown to Vegas after our show yesterday and done a better job on that broadcast and with that interview with no prep at all. That was one of the maybe it's summer league. It was the last game of the day. Maybe Isaiah Thomas is exhausted from watching bad basketball all day. I mean, he is one of the best basketball players of all time. Terrible GM and is working with Phoenix right now, by the way. But I maybe it was just they were tired, but that was a really, really tough broadcast to get through. Not only the game was trash, the interview was trash, and honestly, the broadcasters were pretty bad as well.
I think his question actually was more like, so the playoffs, how do you get to the next level? Tell us about your owner. Some of the questions, as I mentioned, when
Doug
we just
Christie
crossover, talking about Doug Christie's contributions, which is nice, but this isn't really the time to be talking about that.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I think they started the interview with not even asking Monty a question, but just saying oh yeah, you guys made the playoffs last year. That was my favorite series. So fun, so good to see you guys in there. Oh, also, Monty, you won GM of the year. No question, no nothing, just stating two generic facts. And I mean, Monty already is a tough interview. I mean, he's really mastered coach speak and filibustering, and then you give him nothing, no questions there. He
had about that first question. He's thinking, this is gonna be easy.
This is not gonna be hard hitting. This will not be. I think the toughest question he was asked was, why did you trade for Chris Duarte?
Yeah.
And, that's kind of a very standard question.
So what do you think? Must win tonight?
Absolutely.
Summer League must win?
Absolutely. I mean, if they want to make what everyone is looking, the knockout round of the Summer League, they got to win tonight. I mean, they need to lock in and focus. I mean, they can't look worse than what they have. Knock on wood. They cannot look worse than what they have these last two games. Against Atlanta, that was horrible. No offense until the second half, and Jordan Ford caught fire. Yesterday, no offense, minimal defense as well. Just missed shots left and right. Why should I expect anything different? I don't know.
Coming up in just a moment here was the bigger derby deal, what Julio did or what Shohei said.
Ooh.
Tell you about Ace fans, how they're looking for some support from Seattle fans tonight. That's next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Wayne Baker says that Isaiah Thomas interview with Monty McNair was like Chris Farley's Saturday Night Live skit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if that's a compliment. It's
not a compliment. Okay. It's like, of course, dude, I'm so stupid. Yeah.
Gotcha. Chris Farley's
Paul McCartney.
Yes.
Whitey and Watkins here, Sactown Sports. Did you watch the home run derby? I tried it and I sit there and I don't really want to watch. I don't really want to watch this. And, oh my goodness. I think I'll watch a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Pretty great, right? The home runs.
Wouldn't
it have been pretty boring if everyone just swung and missed for 2 hours? Wouldn't that have been pretty boring?
Well, yeah, in a home run derby, you're right. Absolutely.
I'm joking. I think, I was able to watch really only the first round. Besides, I will say, I watched what I wanted to see. The Julio Rodriguez 41 home runs in that first round was absolutely incredible. I talked yesterday a lot about the Josh Hamilton infamous first round that he had, where he hit, I think, it was 50 home runs or something like that in one round. Very reminiscent of that, just the energy that was in the building. So cool that it was on his home field as well. To me, that's like peak derby. It's not going to get much better than that unless the final round is truly like a battle of mashing and it goes back and forth and all the way to the last hit. That is exactly what I wanted to see from the home run derby. And I saw it and then I clicked off it. Mm-hmm. And then I did watch the final round. The final round was pretty good. It had two big enough names. I think enough people know who Randy Arozarena is. And then Vladdy Jr. obviously has enough pull. And it was a pretty exciting round. I think Vladdy, with his 25 and then Arozarena almost getting over that, it had enough drama to where it was definitely a watchable event, which I think is a good standard to have for these all-star extra festivities.
It does seem like it's much more watchable since they put the clock on it.
Yes.
Also, I was realizing yesterday, one of the most thankless jobs, not only in sports, but in any endeavor, all the jobs, one of the most thankless jobs is being the home run derby catcher.
Yeah. How about that? The catcher was like, really motivating Vladdy to like, come on, you got it. Two more. Yes. Hit it out.
I guess he's like a coach, but otherwise,
right.
Hopefully you don't even ever get to catch the ball.
Right.
You don't even get to throw it back, right? Put it in a bucket or
right.
whatever.
Yeah. You just drop it in the bucket and you're just tearing your knees up for 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. It's a thankless job, but it was really cool to see just that cooperation and collaboration, and it was a good event. I was thinking about it yesterday too, because we were talking about do you need the home run derby? I think it's the best of any sports all-star festivities. Like, it's a lot, but the NFL doesn't have much of the dodgeball game or whatever. The Pro Bowl itself sucks. The NBA, the 3-point shootout, it doesn't really ever have a big moment. There's not really a big crescendo moment. It's just kind of a constant flow. And then whoever, it could be the second guy has the most threes and then everybody else is a dud. Dunk contest is pretty hit or miss. I think when it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it really sucks. To me, it's just really hard to do these extra festivities. And to me, the home run derby is the most consistently solid every time.
You may be right. I prefer the 3-point shooting and the dunk contest just because the home run derby, for me, it's just so long. I can't.
Sure. I hear you.
Don't want to sit through the whole
I do
thing.
think the 2 minutes helps, but yeah.
Yeah. If Julio Rodriguez had advanced, maybe I'd have watched the finals.
Sure.
And I saw a little bit of it. But at that point, it's like, okay, there's got to be something. There's basketball.
Yeah, there might only need to be long. 2 rounds. I don't think we need 8 what is it? Is it 8 total people, or is it? I think it's 8 total people. Like maybe just cut it down to 4. I don't.
People like it. I mean, it's really popular.
And plus, for TV wise, they do have to extend it a certain amount. But I think it works well enough. I think it's something to get casual baseball viewers to tune in, and I definitely think it accomplishes that mission.
Yeah. Tonight we've got, of course, the All-Star Game, and A's fans are hoping to get some support from Mariner fans. I hope they get this.
I do too.
On Twitter from @A's Fan by Design. Attending the MLB All-Star Game? ? Before the first at-bat of the top of the 5th inning, stand up and remain silent for the duration of the at-bat to support keeping the A's in Oakland. Then tell MLB that Fisher should #sell the team, what they did during the reverse boycott here. And they're hoping to pull that off tonight. They hope that enough fans at the game tonight do this for it to be noticed.
That's so cool. Yeah. I hope it happens.
I really think that's asking for a lot.
It is, isn't it?
It definitely is. I don't know how they're planning on spreading the word to all of those people. It's a really cool idea if they can get it to work, because there will not be a bigger stage in for every single team to be viewing in. That would be a really cool moment, and I think that would also get the point across. Not that I think it would change anything, but I just think it would be a big stage for them to do it on.
They did get a sell the team chant or sell the team chants going on during the draft.
That was really,
in Seattle.
It sucks for that guy who was drafted for sure, but I think that's a really cool moment for A's fans.
He's not going to Oakland.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. It was, it was just really cool.
Also, he was booed when he introduced the Astros pick, and the look on his face, I don't think he understands what it's like to be a baseball fan. It's like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Don't you understand what's going on, how hard this is for true fans?
No, he doesn't.
It's good for your game to have true fans, and you seem like you don't understand what that is.
Doesn't like true fans. I honestly think Rob Manfred is, I don't even think this is going out on a limb. I think he's by far the worst commissioner that I have had in my lifetime. Like, not only just baseball, but just all sports that at least I think NHL used to have a bad commissioner, but I can't imagine anybody doing their job in terms of, and obviously commissioners work for the owners. Their job isn't to please the fans, but in a way it is to still grow the game of baseball.
You have to make it look like you care about the game.
Yes,
and that you're kind of a steward of the game.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't even pretend to be that.
And he antagonizes fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So crazy.
It's almost like, he pokes the bear. He really tries to almost get a reaction out of people. And you're right. Like, he doesn't seem to understand it either. He does have a bewildered look to him. Like, it is just a piece of, it's a piece of metal. And, I don't understand why people want all the Astros suspended. And I don't understand why A's fans are so mad at it. All of it is just like, dude, you're completely clueless.
Yeah. I think he needs to do a better job anyway of pretending that he cares about the game. So we had the home run derby yesterday, which was very interesting. To me, what was more interesting, big picture, was what Shohei Ohtani had to say. Shohei Ohtani, of course, is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. So he was asked Monday whether reaching the playoffs has become a higher priority as he sorts out his future. He says those feelings get stronger year by year because he could stay with the Angels, or they could trade him, or next year he could go wherever he wants, presumably, and he could rake in a contract of $500 million or more. Some executives seem to think it's going to go more like 6. So he could have teams chasing him the way. Remember how teams were pursuing Peyton Manning and LeBron James?
Yes. It was almost embarrassing for franchises how thirsty they were for those guys. They were like hosting meetings, all that stuff. Shohei, if there's ever anybody who in this modern era is going to bring back the wining and dining of true stars, it should be Shohei Ohtani, somebody who's going to bring a ridiculous amount of revenue and just popularity and talk to your team. I think that it's going to be maybe something like we've never really seen before. I think, he's the biggest name to hit free agency in a very long time.
Through his interpreter, of course, Ippei Mizuhara, those who keep score at home, he said, it sucks to lose. He wants to win, so it gets stronger every year. So I don't see how he's going to stay with the Angels. They're now 45 and 46. They were playing better, but then Trout got hurt, And so they've been losing. And so I can't imagine he's going to stay there. So maybe the Angels have said, as long as they're contending, they're going to keep him. At some point with the deadline looming August 1st, maybe maybe the Angels decide we're going to trade him, but he's probably going to go to the Dodgers.
I think so. I mean, when you talk about a team that's winning, the Dodgers have had a, not necessarily, they've won one ring recently, but they've had a sustained success. It wouldn't be him moving very far. Obviously, he's probably based in LA anyway. It seems like the easiest move. The Dodgers have nothing but money, so they could offer him whatever he would please, and he would have all the notoriety of being in LA and being a Dodger and all that comes with that.
He probably would have gone there in the first place, but they didn't have the DH then.
Is that really what it? Oh, I do remember that.
He didn't say that, but a lot of people thought that.
Right.
And so he went to the Angels. Why would you go to the Angels instead of the Dodgers? Well, because of the DH, and now that's not a concern. So stinks if you're a Giants fan, and the Giants seem to think they may have a shot at him, but I'd be very surprised.
I don't think so. I mean, I think the Giants will definitely give a good try at Shohei. I think they'll probably be a finalist. I think, it's not hard to convince yourself why San Francisco would be a great place for Shohei to play, but I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to there's as much sense as it makes for San Francisco, it makes equal amount of sense and more to sign for the Dodgers or, it also, if I'm not mistaken, he said he wants to stay on the West Coast as well. So, all you Yankee fans out there, they're probably not going to go over there, but that would be another logical place for him to go. LA to me just makes way too much sense.
Yeah, and $500 million is a lot, but he's like two different players.
Exactly.
Because he's hit 32 home runs, and he's averaging as a pitcher almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Exactly.
It's like you're getting two guys almost.
It's like you're getting, on both sides, you're getting MVP caliber guys. You're getting an MVP pitcher along with an MVP hitter as well. That's why I don't think that I think this is going to be something completely different that we see in terms of his recruitment or whatever you want to call it. Teams are going to go all out to try and get Shohei because of that value. And I think, especially if he lands in LA, I just think it's going to be a spectacle, something like we haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah. So as far as tonight goes, you're skeptical that Seattle fans will give the A's the support they're looking for?
I think it'll happen. It'll just be
hard to get the word out. A lot of people won't know, right?
Exactly. I just don't know if you'll get the entire crowd to do it. Maybe you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh, there it is. There it is. I think I can hear it. But I think it's going to be tough to get the entire crowd to do it, especially
broadcasters will ignore it. They won't give it any attention.
Absolutely not. I mean, the A's broadcasters didn't give it any attention. I'm sure that was,
they're in a tough spot there.
Yeah, exactly. They're in a tougher spot. But I think that there's going to be a lot of probably corporate people at this game as well, like people who aren't really tapped in with what's going on. And I just think it's going to be really tough to do. I think there will be a good amount of participation, but whether or not it rains from the crowd with all whatever 20,000, 18, 19,000 people in there, I don't know how many people are going to be there, but
I would think the goal would be that even if the broadcasters don't allude to it, that people watching will be able to hear something like, wait,
I would hope
what was that?
Yeah, I would hope so, but
fingers crossed.
It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough to get the word across.
You want to make some money?
Yes.
All right.
I'd love to.
We have a 49er bet for you that to me, it's almost too easy. I don't know if Chris agrees, but this easy money will tell you how to win some easy 49er money next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down this Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it this Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
During a Flex Alert, let's do the dishes after 9.
What about the laundry?
It can wait until tonight, or even the morning.
The AC?
It's at 78. Let's cool the house in the morning.
All right, so we're just chilling until 9.
Pretty much. And we can help avoid a power outage.
Putting off chores for later and hanging out with my best friend? I love Flex.
Maybe you should just unplug the appliances downstairs.
Good idea. Better acoustics in the basement.
California, the power is ours with Flex Alerts. Flex Alerts, the power is ours.
So I'm a public school teacher and I'm on my feet all day long. That would be on concrete. The pain would like shoot up my heels and just increased from the bottom of my feet up. Then my back started hurting. So my husband and I were driving and I went, oh, look, there's a Good Feet store. I'm greeted by this gal named Mercy. That was a perfect name for her. And the cool thing about the Good Feet store is that you're able to try before you buy. I had free fittings. She was able to fit me with special arch supports. And so I walked around in the store. Within 30 minutes, I started sobbing because I had no pain. Well, if your feet are hurting, do something about it. You don't have to grin and bear it. You need to go to the Good Feet store and get some arch supports. I'm Deidre, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have 2 pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Doval, to represent the team tonight. And on the east side of the Bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
We got the Bill Walton documentary on here, and I just wanted to share my Bill Walton story, if I could, real quick here. It's Whitey and Watkins. We'll get to some easy money on the Niners in just a moment. But Bill Walton's really a cool guy.
The coolest.
On 1140 one time, I was doing an interview because he knew Kevin the Rat, who was on the show. Kevin the Rat used to do something with him in Portland. So I'm doing the show with Kevin the Rat, Phantom, and Kevin invites Bill Walton in to do an interview because he was in town. So he comes in, and first he was really upset that we were late, like you're past your break. So which was
that's incredible.
Interesting. But I asked him before we go on, I said, look, my daughter is going to start school in the fall at UC San Diego and La Jolla, and I know you live down there. Is there any advice or any? Before I even finish, he writes down like his phone number and email, says, "Here, give that to her and have her contact me if she needs anything." And I don't even know you.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's Bill freaking Walton.
Yeah, yeah, which was really cool. And then so somehow I had his email. Then years later, my other daughter started dating this guy who she ended up marrying. He's a really nice guy, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I heard that the guy's father knew Bill Walton. So I emailed Bill Walton for like some intel. It's like, Bill, I don't know if you remember me, blah, blah, blah. My daughter's dating this guy. Family knows you. Can you give me anything on the family? And he's like, Sadly, I have lost touch with the family, but you're a very good father for checking. By the way, you need to listen to Neil Young's new album.
This is like perfect. That is a perfect Bill Walton email. Like that is something that you should hang up in your house or something. Like that's how you know Bill Walton is really reading his emails and reply. You cannot make that up.
Right.
Like that is if you were to just give me a blank piece of paper that had that email on there and say which one of these is written from Bill Walton, that is so obviously him. That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible. I'm incredibly jealous of both of those stories.
I mentioned Kevin the Rat. Kevin the Rat told me he was down there one time staying with him because they got to be pretty good friends, which I guess is not hard with Bill Walton.
I guess
anyway,
not, right.
Kevin says he's there one day and someone comes to the door and Bill's wife answers. And this woman says, "Hey, I'm so-and-so. Bill said if I was ever in the area that I could come by and stay." And Bill's wife says, "No, that's not true.
That's not true.
You're going to have to leave."
That has to happen at least once a month, right? Like where Bill Walton is just inviting straight.
Yes.
Oh, come on by, buddy. My wife will fix you
and
dinner.
She probably knows, like, they're coming here, but they ain't getting in.
No, absolutely. They should just have instead of no soliciting, just if my husband told you to stay, no, you can't.
Is Bill here? No, he's not here. You're going to have to go. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Just seems like an all-time guy. Just like the all-time, if like, you know, they always have those, which table would you sit at?
Yeah.
And they have all the heads of like any table with Bill Walton, you have like, he just seems like an all-time human being. And I would listen to him talk, I think all day and probably not get anything from it, but just be like, wow, that's really Bill Walton. Like he really just lives his life and is like the ultimate nomad. Like he just seems like the ultimate show guy.
Some silly things as a broadcaster,
for sure.
But
sure.
Since we're talking about Bill Walton, he actually would do commentary for the Kings.
Yeah,
this was in 2013, and it's probably one of my favorite pieces of sound here at the station. It's him and Jason calling the game, and it's Bill Walton just being the most Bill Walton he could be.
I love this.
But to watch Steve Nash feed the post, that is a clinic, a thing of beauty. That is Picasso. That is Monet. That is Michelangelo. That is Leonardo. That is Einstein. Steve Nash getting it done here. We are privileged. We are in the presence of greatness. And you too, Jason.
134 left.
That was interesting
He's the
because
best, man.
they hired him and they also hired Jim Gray. And it looked like they were doing that because they were paving the way for the team to move down to Southern California.
I don't like that.
So Bill Walton, was pretty popular down there, and they figured they were going to go down to Anaheim. So I think that's why they did that.
I don't like to hear that. I'm just gonna act
That's
like
not Bill Walton's fault.
I was
though.
gonna act like Bill Walton was a really big Kings fan, and was thankful to call some of the worst basketball that's ever been played. But I never really put two and two together. That makes a whole lot more sense.
I didn't have it, but it was a Sacramento against Oklahoma City Thunder, and I want to say it was on TNT. And the Kings, I actually think, won that game. And at some point during the first quarter, Jason Ross told me that Bill Walton says, "Sacramento Kings fans, print your playoff tickets now. This is a team of the future."
Sometimes I think he was apparently a stutterer, and so I think that's part of his dealing with it. When he starts talking, he just goes.
Yeah.
And so that's why some of these things come out.
Monet,
almost a stream of consciousness.
Michelangelo,
he doesn't
Leonardo.
want to stop. He just wants to keep going.
Yeah.
I think in the documentary, he said something about how he's always trying to think of like what's the best thing to say, and one of the things is just like, don't think about it, just say.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah.
And so that's how we get all of these great Waltonisms.
So he's quite literally unfiltered. He's trained himself to just let go of that filter and just say the words, and then you can put them together for him.
Well, I don't know if we're
incredible.
as kind as Bill Walton, but we're trying to do you a solid here by giving you some. At least I think this is rock solid advice that can help you make some money.
Okay.
Maybe Chris Watkins disagrees.
Hopefully.
Maybe Christopher Law disagrees. Futures for 2023 for the 49ers. The over-under.
Right.
10.5 wins for the 49ers. Bet the over. That is easy money. You know that it's at 10.5 because so many people say, their quarterback is hurt. Oh, yeah, who knows what's going to happen. But we know that there's a very, very good chance, an excellent chance, or better, that Brock Purdy's going to be okay. And if he's okay, over 10.5. Cha-ching! Right?
Should be pretty easy. I mean, I shouldn't say pretty easy. The Niners are a good enough team to put 11 plus wins up on the board fairly easily, especially if the Seahawks aren't as good as what people I think are forecasting them to be. They're really the only competition in the NFC West that the Niners need to worry about. But if I could present a counter argument here,
what
the Niners and when the schedule first got released, I don't feel like this was talked about enough. Weeks 5 through 14 for the 49ers, brutal. I'm going to go down the list for you. Week 5. They play the Dallas Cowboys. That's a really
overrated.
It will be.
Where is that? That's
it
here,
will be
isn't
in
it?
Santa Clara. Yes, it will be in Santa Clara. So they have that. But the Cowboys, really, really good team. I think Niners and the Cowboys, in my opinion, are fighting for the second best team in the NFC. That's just what I think.
Yeah, the playoffs called, but okay.
Sure. Yeah. You're not wrong. The Browns, I think they're going to be a lot better next year. Deshaun Watson, another year under his belt, another year more comfortable. I think the Browns at least aren't going to be an easy out. Minnesota Vikings, great offense.
I had a feeling they were going to factor into this somehow.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about them. That's fine. That's going to be a road game also. The Bengals, week after that in week 8. Bengals, pretty tough opponent. Niners have a bye in week 9. Jaguars in week 10. I think the Jags are going to be really good this year. I think we've talked before. I'm a big Doug Peterson guy, big Trevor Lawrence guy.
It's hard to say still, but you're right. But there's still part of my brain that goes, nope, they're the Jags.
They just added Calvin Ridley as well, traded for him last year. He can finally play this year after being suspended. I think that Jaguars offense at least is going to be tough. Buccaneers week 11, that's an easy win. Then they have Seahawks week 12 at Seattle, week 13 against Philadelphia in Philly, and then back home in week 14 against the Seahawks. I just think that that's a really, really tough stretch of games that to me, that's going to decide the 49ers season. I mean, obviously, that's quite literally the meat of their season, but that's a really tough consecutive schedule to play. And if things don't go well, if Brock Purdy maybe gets hurt in that stretch, I know, you could say that about anything.
He'll be fine.
We'll see. I think I just think that's a really tough stretch of games. And if the 49ers don't reach over that 10.5, I think it's because they maybe go 500 or somewhere near there in that stretch.
YouTube chat comment of the day nominee from, let's say, I apologize, I lost it here. Jay Jolly says the 49ers could win 10.5 with Whitey as their quarterback.
Possibly.
Which, by the way, it's true.
I guess if you just,
I get him at least at 12.
I think so.
I played for the Vallejo Vikings. I played at quarterback at a very high level.
Shout out Vallejo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe. Maybe I'm tripping. Right. You just got to give it to McCaffrey. You can even just pitch it to him. McCaffrey can throw it for you. You don't even really have. You just got to get it to. And that's definitely the devil's advocate of what I just said is I think the 49ers are in a position where kind of like you said, I mean, even if Purdy does get hurt, I think they'll be fine. Like Sam Darnold, if he follows the Shanahan system, just throw it where Shanahan wants you to throw it. They have enough talent with Ayuk, with Debo, with
I think so.
McCaffrey, with Kittle. I mean, we can go down the list, but I think they're talented enough to easily eclipse 11 wins, but I just think that's a really tough stretch of games.
It's not an easy stretch, you're right, but I think this 10.5, as I said, clearly reflects the belief from a lot of people that, their quarterback situation is unsettled. And I think being closer to the situation here, we know better, and we know the 49ers are very confident. And so 10.5 to me is like, you never know. Lots of things could happen, but I'm telling you, Chris, cha-ching.
They're trying to sucker you.
Some money.
They're trying to sucker you. They're going to win 10 games is going to be exactly how much they win now. Watch. It's what's going to happen.
10-7?
No, that's not going to happen. But I do think you're right, though. The Niners, clearly that's being factored in is the quarterback situation. And I think there's a lot of skepticism about whether or not the quarterback situation is going to go as fluidly as the Niners seem to think it is. But all indications are Brock Purdy is going to be very ready for week 1. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they've been saying that for 2 months now, something tells me that they wouldn't be outwardly saying that if they didn't truly believe that that's what it's going to be.
We are making you some money. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Coming up next, has an NBA player ever begged a teammate to stay before? I don't recall that ever happening. Do you?
No, not really. No.
Tell you who's doing that next on Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Cunningham. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Get your superhero squad together and join forces as we take on the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, July 15th during Marvel Superhero Day. All fans can enjoy this special Marvel-themed day at the ballpark, along with fun photo opportunities, character appearances, and in-game features as part of the fun. Get there early to snag a Captain Marvel bobblehead presented by Extra Mile. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your kids' friends.
Hey, boys. How do cows stay informed?
Dad, don't.
They read the Moo paper. Mr. Otis, you're the funniest.
It's good to know where you stand. And when it comes to your FICO credit score, you can with a Wells Fargo account.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getfico to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation in the United States and other countries. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Pretty soon, Chris Watkins will probably have his own golf show. He'll be leaving this show because the way he played yesterday, from what I understand, I mean, you could probably start giving private lessons.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Look out. Yesterday. Frank LaRosa, look out. I'm coming for your golf to go moments. Okay. That's going to be me pretty soon. No, there's no way. Yesterday was a good day. Well, for those who watch us on YouTube, maybe you notice I'm always plopping into the seat right before we start every break. I can't help but putt and chip like every single break. And I guess we've been doing this now for 3 or so months, and I guess
today it's our second show.
Yeah, right. Sorry. But after just months, I guess of doing that repeatedly for 4 or 5 minutes a break, I guess something caught on yesterday, and it felt really good. It's really annoying, and I think we've talked about it before with golf. When a part of your game is going, like, let's just say you're putting really well one day, it just feels so easy and it just feels so natural. And then you're like, why can't I just do this every single time? And it's so weird how it just feels so second nature when it's going well, and you can see something, you read a putt, and you're like, yeah, like obviously I just got to tap it like that and then give it a little that and it'll go in. And it's just such a frustrating sport. It's really, really dumb and frustrating. And it both makes me incredibly happy, but also more frustrated than I think I've ever been at anything.
You're going to share what you shot yesterday?
Well, I do want to preface it with it was an easier course. It's not like it's a par 72. I think it's a par 67. I shot an 80, which is by far the best that I have ever played. Shot a 35 on the back 9.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of
birdies?
pars. I think 2. I believe 2 birdies. But yeah, just really consistent. Normally I'm like a bogey player, if not a couple holes where I'll just completely tank it. But yesterday, man, it was the short game was going, and I was locked in, and it's amazing. It's amazing how easy you can make putting if your approach is near the actual hole itself. Because it wasn't 2 putting, wasn't 3 putting too much. So it was a good game. It was a good game.
Yeah,
good day. Good day of golf.
Drive for show, putt for dough.
Exactly. That's what they say. I still can't putt.
Frank LaRosa invented that phrase.
Love it, Frank. Yeah. Frank, I will take some tips. I've been listening to the Golf to Goes, but if Frank wants to give some private lessons as well, I'll take those.
Frank could probably set you up at any course in the world, too.
That's what it seems like. I swear. I swear. I always see like Scott Marshall always posts like, oh yeah, me, Jason, Gary, and Frank are golfing today at Pebble Beach, and I'm like,
yep.
Cool. TFTI, guys. TFTI. Thanks for the invite.
There's an NBA player who is begging a teammate to stay where he is. And I don't ever recall that happening before. With his encyclopedic knowledge of basketball, Chris came up with a guy I had forgotten about. So who was who's the guy that you remember actually begging a teammate to stay?
Scottie Pippen. How about that? Like, I mean, I remember, just a couple of years ago in 2020, watching that The Last Dance documentary. You can see Scottie lift his foot up and do like the come here thing. Do I have Jordan? No, I have Nike on my shoes.
Yeah.
Telling Mike to come here while pointing at the Jordan on the bottom of his sole. That's kind of the last time I can remember a teammate, like, I won't say begging, but very much pleading the case for please come back.
Well, James Harden requested a trade from the Sixers after opting into his contract for next year. Remember, we talked about that when it happened. It took us a while to sort out.
Yeah.
Wait, what is going on? He still remains part of the Sixers roster, so he could end up returning to Philadelphia. And one new Sixer is hoping Harden remains with the team. Patrick Beverley pleaded with Harden to stay when meeting with the media. He says, James, I love you, bro. Stay. Beverley explained that he and Harden developed a close relationship while with the Rockets to the point where their families became close. James is a really good friend of mine, Patrick Beverley said. Our moms are best friends. So I don't know if this is going to have any influence on James Harden, but as I think about it, it's hard to know because I don't know exactly what James Harden wants, but from where I sit, I think staying with Philly would probably be his best play.
I think so. Like, Philly's, again, was a win away from being in the conference title, and who knows how, I mean, you saw how Miami struggled to defend Jokic. Who knows how Miami would have struggled or not to defend Joel Embiid in that following series. They very easily could have been in the NBA Finals and maybe even won it. It's not that far of a stretch to go there, and they're a really good team. They changed head coaches. I think they made an improvement on head coach going from Doc Rivers to Nick Nurse. I think James Harden, if he really wants to, if he's serious about wanting to win a title in his career, I think Philadelphia is head and shoulders the best place for him to be. He's got Patrick Beverley, who, as he points out, is his guy. I don't know how his relationship with Joel Embiid is, but, there's it's really tough to kind of find a better situation for him to be in than Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. It's been reported, or at least suggested, that James Harden doesn't like taking a back seat to Joel Embiid. I don't know if that's true. That's been suggested.
No, I could see it.
He's a point guard, though. To me, if you have a point guard who doesn't want to play with a really good player, I don't want him on my team. I remember Stephon Marbury. He didn't like taking a back seat to Kevin Garnett.
Right.
And this is way, way back when. And I remember thinking, look, a point guard should welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what your position is
Yes.
for.
You're trying
Spread
to
the
get
wealth.
your team into your offense. You're trying to score points.
Yeah.
If you can, it's almost like a quarterback. Like, I don't want good receivers.
Yeah. It's like, I just want to make the pretty throws and I want it to be all on me. Yeah. Like that's a backwards mentality for a point guard to have. I've never really even given that much thought, but you're completely right. Like a point guard should relish that. They should be like, my life is so easy. I just have to give it to Joel and give it him in the right spot. And he makes my life easy, not just whether it be pick and rolls, whether it be just finding him for open looks down low. It should be a point guard's dream to play with a guy like him. And the fact that he's questioning it. Right. The MVP
he's the MVP. I'm not.
league.
So I don't know if I like that.
It's very.
I don't
James
want
Harden.
you on my team. Good for you, but go somewhere else.
I'm right there with you. And I frankly think Philadelphia might be positionally in a better position if they just lean into Tyrese Maxey. To me, is primed for a step up in role. I think he would thrive as the second option there in Philadelphia. He seems like a little bit less selfish of a guy, at least right now. If I'm Philadelphia, I'm like, cool, James. Like, if you don't want to be here, we can find somewhere else for you to be. It's just kind of crazy to us that you don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. It's up to James, though. I mean, it's up to James how he wants to be remembered.
I wouldn't even be in that big of a, the other way around. I wouldn't necessarily feel like I needed to take my time. I would want to get that resolved sooner rather than later to get him off my team. And if I don't get fair value, that's okay, because I'm not even sure what fair value is for him right now.
Right.
Because he's declining.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. And I think that, you probably don't want him to linger around in the situation. James Harden has already proven if he doesn't want to play for you, he'll just show up overweight.
Yeah.
He'll give like 30% effort. And then Philadelphia is also a team that just went through this with the Ben Simmons saga. I don't know if it's a good idea to keep James Harden around. And, we saw Ben Simmons returns to one practice in Philadelphia and got sweats on, got his phone in his pocket. I'm pretty sure Doc Rivers kicked him out of practice. You don't want any of that. Like, no. There is definitely an argument to just get this done now. Get what you can. It's not like you're going to get, can of soup for James Harden. You're going to get something. It's just you don't need to extract
picks for him.
You don't need to extract every ounce of
value in just getting him out of the building.
Addition by subtraction.
Yes,
that is definitely the James Harden. If you're a GM, that's how you should view it.
What did you think of what Tyrese Halliburton had to say about the future that he thought he was going to have in Sacramento?
I know Tyrese said that he apologized before he even said it. He's like, I'm tired of, I know people are going to come at me, but Tyrese, just from now on, and now you've done this 8 times, just say, hey, I appreciate you asking the question. I've just already answered that 30 times.
We will hear exactly what he said next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a 2-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotta with your Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have two pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Doval, to represent the team tonight. And on the east side of the Bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Yeah, sure, that was an ugly Summer League game, but Summer League's kind of ugly.
It is, yeah. That's kind of the nature of the beast. Summer League is it's not always the most aesthetically pleasing game, but, you know, it's fun. It's fun. Yesterday was not fun. But
weird atmosphere, too. Just it even came through on the television. There's not very many people there.
Yeah, they were playing in the big gym, and it's kind of weird. Like I said, it was the last game of the day.
Yeah.
It's Kings Clippers. Like, you look at the Clippers roster, Summer League roster, I can't tell you a single person on there. Like, I love basketball.
Xavier Moon?
I know they just drafted Xavier Moon. He looked great, by the way. If there's any takeaways from it, it was Xavier Moon looked incredible if you're a Clipper guy. But besides that, I mean, there's no real allure to watching that game. Even if you're like a college basketball fan, there's not really any names that are like, oh my God, there's Brady Manick. Oh my God, I get to watch Amari Bailey, even though he's not there was really no intrigue there. So yeah, definitely some weird energy and some bad basketball. It's a good combination for Summer League.
Jalen Slauson,
bad announcers as well.
We didn't expect him to be much of a shooter. He's not shooting the ball real well so far in Summer League.
No, he did make a field goal. He had a great highlight play yesterday, strip steal, and then a dunk in the mid-late fourth quarter. But besides that, Slauson I don't know if he's made more than 2 or 3 field goals his entire Summer League experience, including California Classic. It's been really tough offensively for him. When he compared himself to Draymond Green, I was thinking it was going to be like, oh yeah, cool, he's going to pass, he's going to rebound, great defender. I think it was just the fact that he can't score. Sorry, Jalen, but
Colby Jones with 19, that was nice. Keda got hurt. We're still awaiting further word on exactly what happened to him early in the game. Foot or ankle. And your guy Keon Ellis scored 16.
Yeah, Keon is he's just so good defensively. Sometimes I just forget he's out there because he's not incredible on offense. He's trying to develop his game. He's knocking down a lot of corner threes, which is good to see. But kind of his positionless on offense.
He's not shy about letting it fly.
He is not at all. No, and I think the Kings are happy to see that, because if he's gonna make an NBA roster, he's gonna have to be some form of a scoring threat. But his defense is elite. Like, he can come into the NBA right now and be, a top defender in the NBA. He is so good. He's so good at anticipating. He can block shots. He can play passing lanes. Great on the ball. There's really nothing I dislike from Keon on the defensive end of things, but I just don't know if he's kind of, like I said, he's kind of in that weird tweener position on offense to where he's not a point guard. He doesn't really have good enough ball handling or passing ability to be a point guard, but his shooting also isn't knocked down enough to really just put him in the corner and trust him from three.
It was very interesting to me to hear Kevin Dana talk about him when we had Kevin on Friday.
Yeah.
Kevin has been a longtime announcer for the C-Dubs, the Santa Cruz Warriors, so he sees a lot of G League action. And he said Keon Ellis to him is like a 4A player.
Yeah.
Which is, that's a baseball term for a guy who's really better than AAA, but not quite good enough to make it to the majors.
Yes.
Just like at the major league level struggles, but put him in AAA. Wow, look out.
Yeah.
So the A's.
Yeah.
The A's. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I think that's really the position that both their two-way guys are in. I know a lot of people, I think Neemias Queta is kind of a very polarizing figure. I think there's people who like Kevin was a big Nemi guy and spoke very highly of him. I think you said Jerry as well was,
but it sounded like he cooled on him a little bit when we last talked to him.
Yeah. I think you either really love him or you kind of see a lot of flaws. And I feel like both Nemi and Keon Ellis are both of those 4A guys where, especially Nemi, like you put him in the NBA, it wasn't fair, but he had to guard Joel Embiid for 5 minutes and picked up 3 fouls almost instantly. I don't know if he can play in the NBA, but you put him in the G League and he wins second place for MVP and wins All-Star Game MVP. Like he's definitely a force and he can do things. It's just at an NBA level with the speed that game is played at and what centers are asked to do in the NBA. I just don't know if he's got a future there. Like he's got talent. He can block shots. And in theory, you watch him play and you're like, he can move. He's not a stiff, but there's just something there. And Jerry says it's the reaction time. I do think that's a big part of it, but there's something there that's just not fully clicking for Nemi.
Speaking of the future, Tyrese Halliburton was on a podcast. Was this on yesterday?
This was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And he actually addressed
this guy, Paul George.
Yeah.
Just whoever his booker is incredible. He just gets everybody. This was on the Paul George podcast. So.
Mm-hmm. And he addressed the future that he thought he was going to have in Sacramento. And he was asked the question, he was, and so I know you don't want him to address this anymore, but he was asked the question.
Yes. No, very fair to him.
Yeah.
And he even, he prefaces this. I don't know how much of this clip we're going to play, but okay. Yeah. You do have the intro as well? Okay. Yeah. I'll just let it play.
Tyrese Halliburton.
If somebody sees this snippet and they say Tyrese cannot give up the trade, I'm about to go crazy because it always happens. I can't get I get asked a question, I just answer.
I had to ask.
No, for sure, you have to ask. That's what people want to know. For me, it was the biggest thing was like the Kings hadn't been to the playoff. I had never seen the Kings in a playoff game ever up until this year. Like I was like Kobe and Shaq were together. I was probably like 4 or 5, but I wasn't really tapped in the NBA at that, I was little. So I'd never seen it before. And so going to Sac, it was like I had the I was like, in my mind, I was like, I get the opportunity to build something here. Like I was excited about that. Like I wanted to be part of the group with like Fox and those guys to be like, we were the ones who turned this around and made it like people were interested in the Kings again. You know what I mean? Because like for a while, and like the truth is that like Kings fans and Kings in general, they're always like have been for my whole life have been looked at as like almost like a laughing stock. You know what I mean? But their fans are like they're probably like the best, like, highly elite fans in the NBA, like top 5 fan base in the NBA. And so for me, it was like I want to help build something here. You know what I mean? And that like around that time, that was during the year like James was talking about getting out of Houston. Ben was trying to get out of Philly. There was just a lot of stuff going on. So my name was always thrown in stuff. But in my mind, being a naive 21, 22-year-old, I was like, they not trading with nobody.
Right.
Green, you know what I mean? Like I remember like my homies would send me the tweets. I'm like, why are you sending me that? Like I ain't worried about this. Like you think they gonna trade me? Like ain't no way they trade me. And so like, a little bit around the deadline, there was like a rumor that the Sixers had turned down a deal for me that was going to get them, the Kings would have got Ben and I would have went to Philly. But I never thought anything of it. I still didn't think it was real. Like no way.
Almost said that the Kings fans are the best in the NBA. I caught that, Tyrese. He was like, the Kings fans are probably the best.
Almost like a laughing stock. You know what I mean? But their fans are like, they're probably like the best, like highly elite fans.
He said, where do I play? Indy, top five for sure. Highly elite.
I mean, it's interesting the way he refers to De'Aaron as Fox.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I wanted to be part of the team with Fox and them guys.
Yeah.
Not like De'Aaron or – because that was the whole thing.
They're super close. I think that was, overblown. And,
Really?
I think people were trying to make it about those two and how they were some, like, just unease between the two.
Well, their games didn't mesh,
Their games didn't
and
mesh.
they should have.
I think that was the thing, is that people thought since their games didn't mesh that those two didn't mesh. But those two both had, from all that I understood, and I wasn't in the locker room all the time, but I was around them, I feel, a good amount. Always seemed like those two really liked each other. Like both of those two are really nice guys, not contentious by nature or anything. Both hyper competitive, and I think both understood that. Look, like we definitely cannot be at heads and have this thing work, and it would be a lot more better if they worked together. And they really were those two trying to spearhead the Kings, ushering in this new era of winning. And I think Tyrese really, and you can hear it in there, he really wanted to be part of the face that brought success to Sacramento. And
he was in a roundabout way, just not the way he anticipated.
Exactly, right.
Really was,
it's really funny. It is kind of ironic because the Kings don't have success without picking Tyrese Halliburton and then shipping him off for Domantas Sabonis. Like there's a clear line of connection there from the Kings' success in trading Tyrese. It's sad to hear somebody who really wanted, like not many people want to stay in Sacramento, especially like embrace the city as quickly as Tyrese did. So it's tough to hear somebody who we had talk so fondly about it, but that's the nature of it, of the business. And I think I think we're all in a position now where we can, Tyrese, the Kings fans, Sabonis can all look at that trade. And, for the first part of it, it felt like Tyrese was just really hurt. It was emotional every time he would talk about the trade. Like, why didn't they want me? I don't understand why they didn't want me. I'm going to make them prove, or I'm going to prove to them why they should have wanted me. Now Tyrese is paid. Sabonis is paid. Kings are in the playoffs. It finally feels like we can just move on and we can all just say, everyone's better for the situation, and we don't need to talk about it anymore. Again, I just hope next time Tyrese is asked this question, it's just, hey, I've answered that question plenty of times. You can go look up what my answer is. Appreciate the question.
Coming up, I hope you're okay with this, but we're going to talk about it some more.
Oh, geez. I appreciate it, Whitey. I just talked about it. If you want to hear my take, you can go to youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 and rewind a couple minutes.
Also, the commissioner keeps talking about expansion. We'll tell you why the NBA talks about it, but hasn't actually expanded yet. Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And before you know it, the kids will be out of school for summer. But here's a little secret. At Bell Brothers, we never let our technicians out of school.
Nope. We require them to attend both hands-on and classroom training for a minimum of 3 hours a week, every week, for as long as they work for the company.
That's 150 hours a year. Regardless of how much experience they have or how long they work for the company, technology constantly changes in this industry, and we want our techs to be as current as possible.
We also train on customer service and communication skills to make sure you have a pleasant experience. We have dedicated training facilities and full-time trainers.
We don't leave anything to chance, which is why our technicians never get out of school. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
Thanks for listening, and thank you, Christopher Laud, for sending me the odds. Did he send you also, Chris Watkins, the odds on who's going to win the NBA in-season tournament?
Yes, he did. Nobody's more excited than Christopher Laud for this in-season tournament. And
or were those the odds on who's going to win each group?
Those are the groups.
That's the group odds.
Okay, yeah. My mistake.
Kings are favored in their group, plus 250, tied with Golden State, also plus 250. So
are they in Group 6
I would
or
imagine
Group C? Because last night on NBA TV, they were calling
this says Group C.
Yeah.
This says West Group C.
I'm going off of what was told on
I know.
Saturday.
I've seen two different things.
Interesting.
Did you know, the reason I bring it up, did you guys realize that apparently they're going to have specific tournament uniforms? I believe I saw that, because there's going to be those nights when they're tournament nights.
I mean, it makes sense. So that way you can, there should, you know what? Actually, I was ready
to react to that well.
I was ready to crap on it. Yeah. It actually kind of makes sense. You should be able to tune in and tell that that there's something different going on. So in that sense, I like it. Like, they need to have special, I mean, I'm kind of like, I really look out for like the broadcast, layout and all that stuff. When ESPN changes their score bug, I want all that. All of that stuff needs to be different if they want this to be something that people truly care about and talk about. Like, it needs to visually look different to where it disrupts your viewing. You're like, wait, what exactly is this going on TV? Why are they wearing orange and magenta jerseys when the score bug looks all strange and funny? You need to have something that clearly tells people
this is the tournament
is different than a regular season basketball game. I haven't heard that they're having new jerseys, but if that is true,
I'll have to double check on that. I believe I read that somewhere, but that would mean we'd have another jersey reveal for everybody.
Wouldn't surprise me. Why not? Why not 4 jerseys? Why not 8 jerseys? Why stop? Why stop anywhere?
I know, and sometimes in the past they've had special jerseys for the Christmas games.
Right.
And I don't know about that this year.
Anything to sell more jerseys, I think, is what they're down for. And it makes sense because, if the Kings win the first tournament and they have special tournament jerseys, Kings fans are going to buy those specific tournament jerseys. They're not going to buy on top of buying all the other new jerseys. Like, it's a good way marketing wise to be like, and they're kind of just marketing to a certain depth. Like, not everyone's going to go out there and buy jerseys, but it's just more opportunities for them to collect cash.
Before we get to what the commissioner had to say about expansion and the Saudis, the whole thing about Tyrese Halliburton, isn't it true that the Kings probably, they wouldn't admit this, but they probably would have traded Fox and not Halliburton, but Fox wasn't playing as well as he did last year, and his contract was so large.
Yes.
So that's why Halliburton was the one who had to go.
That is 100,000% true. Absolutely. The Kings, yeah, you're right. They'll never admit it, but the Kings would have rather traded De'Aaron Fox and kept Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese is on a rookie deal. You saw he just got his extension, but he was value-wise less. You had more team control years over him. And also, I mean, you could argue at that specific point in time, De'Aaron and Tyrese's progressions were kind of at even points. I think they still kind of are, but there was probably, if anything, more hope for Tyrese's future than De'Aaron. So I think if Indiana would have, something tells me the Kings probably offered De'Aaron first. If they would have said yes, I think De'Aaron Fox probably would have been the one to go, and Sabonis still would have came here. It just would have been for De'Aaron. But I truly do believe that De'Aaron Fox was the one that the Kings would have probably preferred.
I don't know if it was either or, but just think how differently things would have gone for the Kings if instead of getting Domas, they'd have somehow gotten Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a proponent for it too. That's the thing. I was a Ben Simmons supporter.
You still are a little bit
to an extent. Not at that contract anymore. I mean, there was, at least at that point, it was, yes, he's getting paid a lot of money, but besides his literal last game for Philadelphia, he was deserving of that money. And then the Ben Simmons we see now, $41 million for a guy who is not even, he's single digits in rebounds, assists, points, doesn't really do what he was doing before. 41 million is just, you cannot reasonably feel the team and have that money on your books.
A couple of quick notes on the commissioner's address to the media yesterday in Las Vegas. For one thing, he praised Wembanyama and how mature he was with handling everything this weekend.
Sure.
For another thing, the commissioner says there are no plans to let sovereign wealth funds control NBA teams for now. He said in the foreseeable future.
Okay.
So in other words, we're not doing that, at least not now.
Not now.
We really need the money. I don't know.
I don't think the owners will be too keen on, hey, I'm getting offered $10 billion and you're saying I can't sell.
Yeah. And he's trying to say that, there's something to be said for having an owner, just a face who's part of the community, blah, 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 which is all well and good. But there is a point at which it'd be like, yeah, for that much money, we'd do it.
I said $10 billion is hard to say no to.
But Commissioner Silver also talked about expansion again, and he said it's not a certainty, but it's a strong possibility. He says we're not talking to any cities, so there are no meetings going on. He says we'll look at Las Vegas. There's no doubt enormous interest in Seattle. That's not a secret. There are other markets that have indicated interest. So he says, yeah, it's something we're looking at. And it probably happened sometime.
Do it.
But it's not something in the works now, which has always kind of baffled me because I thought, well, wait a minute. They lost all that money because things went sideways in China.
Yeah.
Right? They were making so much money there.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they make up that money? Well, if you bring in 2 new teams, you get the expansion money.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that go a long ways towards making up for the difference there? But I read somewhere that might have been John Hollinger suggesting that the owners know that they got a huge TV package coming soon.
Right.
They don't want to split that. You have to split that pie
32 ways, right?
Yeah,
If it were, yeah.
Yeah, and they just don't want to do that.
That's crazy. I mean, for sure, whatever. I guess that's why that they have the money they do in order to buy the teams is because they think about the tiny 10 million extra dollars that they would get or whatever that dollar figure would be, for sure. But from a basketball perspective, the league needs to expand. I think there's too much talent around. I think that every team right now has a guy that they realistically can say, like, that's even the Detroit Pistons can say, we have Cade Cunningham. Like that's hope for the future. We have the Hornets. We have LaMelo Ball, and you have teams that have 3 stars on there. I just think that they can afford to give 2 more teams. And, I would assume if it is Vegas and Seattle, you just move New Orleans or Memphis over to the Eastern Conference and call it a day.
I agree with you that every team has some real talent, but to me, there are too many bad teams. And some of that is just the mindset of organizations. We're going to tank or whatever. But to me, there are way too many bad teams as it is. And I don't want to add 2 more bad teams at a time when the league is trying to make the regular season more meaningful. That you're right. Las Vegas, Seattle, whomever, they're going to have a couple good players, but they're going to be horrible for a long time.
Sure.
And overall, I don't think the league needs that right now.
I think they can afford it right now. I think that's more what it is. I think there's always going to be bad teams. That's kind of the nature of it. Like
yes.
You're never going to have, all middling teams and then
you need
great
bad
teams.
Actually. You need good teams, bad teams.
Right.
In a way.
It's how it goes. But I just think there's enough talent to I would like to see what it looks like if Malik Monk was a starter on a team. I think that there's enough talented guys out there that could supply 2 extra teams. I just think that there's, that you see tons of, we have 3 stars right now in Phoenix. I think that there's just enough top level talent as well to where, it would break up the need or, 2 stars might be the new 3 stars kind of thing. I just think the NBA could use some reshaping.
Fewer teams.
Really?
Let's get rid of.
Good luck selling that.
Memphis.
Yeah, I know, but I would get rid of. Who'd you say?
Memphis.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, as far as the market goes, no, I like them too much. Washington Wizards are gone.
Pelicans.
Maybe I move somebody else in there or something.
Pelicans
but
gotta go.
They're gone. And I love the Pels, but that's just a bad situation there.
Yeah.
So I'm with you guys. Yeah, we'll go Pelicans and Wizards. Gone. And my league is going to be so much healthier, especially if I have an expansion or a contraction draft, a dispersal draft.
So you have to draft. Every team has to take. Or what? Would you take people from your team?
You take people from the teams that were.
Oh,
that I'm
right.
disbanding.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kuzma's back on the board. Jordan Poole on the board.
Yep.
Zion, Brandon Ingram on the board. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay. I like
My
this.
league's gonna be stronger.
Do they usually broadcast those expansion drafts? I guess we haven't had one since the Bobcats.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah, definitely need to.
Man, the expansion fees that these new NBA teams are going to be insane.
Yeah.
What is it even going to be? Like, are we talking? It's like 100 millions. Billions,
hundreds of millions.
So the last one was the Charlotte Bobcats, and their expansion fee was $300 million. That was in 2003.
Inflation.
And if you go to something recent, just sports in the United States, the Kraken had a expansion fee of $650 million in the NHL.
The thing the NHL does well, and I am not a good enough hockey fan to understand exactly how, but they have expansion teams and they're like, good.
Yeah, right.
I think it's because it's like because in the NBA, it's like, okay, we want to hold on to our best players.
Yeah.
And in the NHL, it's like, nope.
Yeah.
They get to pick whoever they want from your guys' teams.
Because that's a great way to start. We're in a new market and we want people to embrace this.
Right.
So let's give them a team that's going to be horrible for a long time. It doesn't work.
And isn't there, I think either the NBA or the NFL puts like real tight restrictions on those new teams as well. Like they can't spend a certain amount of money. I think they can't have, they don't have like a draft pick the first 2 years or so, like an NBA, like a.
They've done that type of thing in the past.
Yeah. I just think I think you're right. Like if it is good for the league to have these new teams at least be able to compete. I understand not giving them Kevin Durant and LeBron James to start with, but I do think that there is value in making sure that those new franchises are able to start kind of with a running start.
I will be furious when Sabonis is playing for the Seattle Supersonics.
Oh my gosh. Why would you say that?
Or maybe the Seattle Super Saudis. Huh? I'm telling you, it's coming. You heard it here first.
Name. Oh my gosh. We should just try and stop naming teams.
Speaking of commissioners, does Manfred understand what it is to be a fan. I don't think he does.
Think so.
Next, he's Watkins. I'm Whitey. This is Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis. And leads Gobert. That's strong. Two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones for 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're out the door to a mild start to the day as we head through the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, light southwest winds, and temperatures warmer with highs in the mid-90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
PGA.com reported that no matter how long you've played golf, you've found things that annoy you on the course. Here's their top 9 pet peeves. Number 9, do you think I can hit yet guy? He hit his tee shot 200, but he's waiting for the green to clear from 250. 8 is where's the beverage card guy who always need more aiming fuel? 7 is the since I'm not playing well, I'm going to complain about everything. 6, leave the green messy guy who refuses to fix a ball mark, spits sunflower seeds, and taps cigar ashes on the green. 5 is the member who acts like he owns the course guy. He's no favorite of the superintendents. Then there's the 1 second, let me count my strokes guy. If you've hit that many shots, just pick it up. 3 is the oblivious to open holes in front and people on our tail guy. 2 is the cell phone talker guy. Hey, we're playing golf here. And number 1 is the good Lord, they're pairing a woman with us guy. While these guys are looking in the woods for a ball, the lady is kindly waiting in the middle of the fairway. What are your pet peeves? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th. With Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotta. Here's Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have 2 pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Duvall, to represent the team tonight. On the east side of the Bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost in the ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls, with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Not a pretty game last night, but hey, that's Summer League. That's not really what you watch for, I don't think. not that I should tell you what you watch Summer League for, but if you're watching thinking, hey, we're going to see some good basketball tonight, you're probably doing it wrong.
No, Summer League is all about individuals, for better and for worse. Again, certain individuals are out there trying to get their not just NBA contracts, I guess. They'll take a G League contract. Some guys are just trying to show anything. They'll try and get signed overseas as well. There's a lot of me basketball, and sometimes it's bad for those fringe guys, but sometimes you get fantastic performances from guys like what Jabari Smith Jr. is doing. Your guy Keontae George, I was able to watch him yesterday,
and your guy Imani
Bates as well. Man, I mean that's to me what Summer League is about. It's about watching for individuals and just trying to see where they stack up amongst this competition that they're currently facing, and most importantly, do they look like that they're a step above the competition they're currently facing?
That said, I found myself watching last night, especially third quarter when it was way out of hand. I know the Kings made it a little closer. They lost by 10, but I was looking at the game and I realized I don't know what's going on. I'm looking at it, but I'm not really processing what's going on the floor with people falling down and the ball flying all over the place and missed shots and air balls. Summer League.
Yeah, it's tough to watch, and there's so many times where you just exactly have to say that. It's just like, oh man, I don't think I've seen someone score in like legitimately 3 or 4 minutes of gameplay. Summer League. It's what happens. It's the nature of the beast, and it's got to be tough for guys like Luke Laux and the people who are coaching. It's like, okay, this is not at all what we drilled, but let's go out there and let's remember the basics, remember the fundamentals, swing it. Okay, all right, another long distance three.
Because as a coach on some level, it's hard not to feel like it's a reflection on you.
Yes, exactly. It's like, Luke Laux is like, Mike, I promise you, I'm drilling defense. We're doing motion. Got a guy up in the high post. It's just they're not running it, man. I just don't know what to say. It's got to be tough to be in Luke Laux's shoes right now, but it's a great opportunity. It's not just G League, like a summer league for the players. It's also a good opportunity to see guys like Luke Laux. What do you do in those kind of positions? Kings got to see Jordy in that position last year, and you could really tell Jordy just had a command of even that summer league roster, and that's a big reason why I've believed since the moment we met Jordy in Vegas last summer, he's head coach material. And I think that this is a good proving ground, not just for the players, but also for coaches as well.
We were just talking about NBA expansion and expansion drafts. And on the YouTube chat, Pike 916 says, I was sad when they stole Gerald Wallace. Yeah.
That is true. Right. Yeah. He left in the Kings.
He had a nice career.
A really nice career. I think you can maybe argue he's the greatest Charlotte Bobcat of all time. I don't know if they, there was a really
I'm a Ryan Hollins guy, but
for sure you are a Ryan Hollins guy. I'm a big I can't even say his name. Emeka Okafor. There you go. Even though he's
not even the best Okafor.
Jaleel?
Yeah.
Oh, debatable. Very debatable. You want to do 12 minutes on this? I'll take Emeka, you take Jaleel. I think that's the one bad thing about expansion that I do constantly think about is I believe you can save 6 players from your current roster.
They could change it. They haven't had one in a while. So yeah.
Who would be your 6? Like that's always the thing is there's always going to be one odd man out, especially
I think it's usually more than 6 you can protect.
I want to say 7 or 8 is actually the number. And so it's like the Kings will get to a point where it's like, okay, we're obviously going to keep Monk. We're going to keep Sasha. We're going to keep Davion. Do we keep Vezenkov? Or I'm sorry, do we keep Trey Lyles? Do we keep Harrison? Like that kind of calculation, that to me is really, really fun, but also a very scary exercise to go through because that's how you lose guys like Gerald Wallace.
It's
like
a really good team. Then.
Exactly.
Like you can't protect all the guys that we want to keep.
You can't do it. You can't protect Hito. You can't protect everybody there. You're going to have to naturally let some guys go that you really want to hold on to. But that's also the glory of bringing in new teams. I want to see Cam Thomas have his own team. Like I'm tired of him wasting away on the Brooklyn Nets bench. Like give me some Cam Thomas 40-point games, please.
I apologize for this because we're going to talk about Rob Manfred for a minute, and that's, I apologize for that. But we were just talking about Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA, and since the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight, just wanted to look at what's going on with Rob Manfred. You've got, as we mentioned earlier, anti-Fisher by design. Bunch of A's fans are trying to get Seattle fans tonight during the All-Star game before the first at-bat of the top of the 5th inning to stand up, remain silent for the duration of the at-bat to support keeping the A's in Oakland. Then tell MLB that Fisher should hashtag sell the team. You had fans there in Seattle booing Rob Manfred during the draft over the weekend. At the start of the draft, they booed him. They voiced support for the A's to stay in Oakland. They booed Manfred again. They briefly stopped booing Manfred, only to erupt in one of their loudest courses of boos all night long because Seattle fans were supporting the A's, but they hate the Houston Astros.
Yes.
So when Manfred announced the Astros were on the clock in the first round, Seattle fans just really let loose. And he made a face. You've probably seen the video.
Yes.
He's getting booed. He makes a face like, what are you doing?
What is this about?
Yeah.
Why
He has no idea how baseball fans feel about any of this.
It's crazy. It's crazy that, especially specifically on that Astros thing, like the fact that he doesn't understand and didn't at the time understand why people were so upset at what he was saying about that whole scandal. And again, about the trophy as well. Like he just doesn't seem to as someone who is meant to be front facing for the league and really the only face that the fans can go to when it comes to how the sport is being operated, he just doesn't seem to understand that part of it. Like he probably thinks, oh, I'm doing exactly what the owners want me to do, so I'm doing my job well. I don't understand why the public doesn't agree with that. And, he's just at every single turn, and we've heard him countless times with this A's situation, he just seems to make the wrong statement at the right time every time.
Jacob Wilson, shortstop, was the A's selection, and fans chanted, I should say, sell the team, sell the team. Yeah.
Love it. I think that's
awesome.
Such a great, I mean, it's such a great thing that the A's fans are able to even coordinate something at the draft. Like the draft is not, something that a lot of people are tuning into, but it's still making your statement known. And it's at every single turn, you need to let baseball know that you guys are locked in, you're tuned in, and you're going to be there to make your voice heard. And after a while, I mean, Rob, the point has to get across to Rob Manfred, because this is not a good look for baseball. Like this is in Seattle. The fact that you have a whole crowd of people chanting sell the team, it's going to spark conversation. It's not something you can ignore. And at some point, he's going to have to answer or say something about it. He cannot just continue to brush it off like it's nothing, because especially if they make their voices known in the All-Star game, it's just not something you can continue to say, oh yeah, I don't really notice it. I didn't hear it. I don't really want to address it. It's becoming integrated with your All-Star game. You have to say something about
This
it.
tells me that the reverse boycott worked, and Manfred tried to downplay it like, oh, great, they had an average crowd for one night. But if you have fans in Seattle, and some of them probably are A's fans, but if you have them chanting sell the team, people have noticed. They took note of that, and they relate to A's fans like, oh, man, that stinks for them.
Especially Seattle, right?
Yeah.
The hometown of the Seattle Supersonics. And I'm sure there's
Yes,
some
you're
crossover
right.
fans. Like,
absolutely.
They understand what it's like to have a team ripped from you.
Great point.
And especially when a commissioner doesn't seem to be on your side.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if the Kings would have moved from Sacramento and then some other let's just say they wanted to take the River Cats out of here too. There's no way Sacramento wouldn't say, hey, we're not, like, even though this isn't tied to us, we're not just going to stand back and let this happen. Like, we know how disgusting these processes can go, and we're not just going to be quiet about it. I think it's really awesome if that was a portion of Seattle fans doing it. I think that's awesome. And that's honestly also what sports is about as well. Sometimes it's, you guys are on opposite sides on this very specific thing of your teams don't like each other, but being able to put that aside, like that is sports. That's team.
Fingers
that's
crossed that something happens
sportsmanship.
tonight
Good to see.
that despite baseball's best efforts, they can't ignore. It's going to be tough.
Going to have to answer it at some point.
But I'm optimistic.
Yeah. And I mean, at some point, are we going to hear from John Fisher? Is he alive? Is this thing on? Hello? Like you're just going to get dragged through the mud and not stick up for yourself or apologize, or you don't got anything
Still
to
hoping
say?
against hope that whole thing collapses, that Vegas thing.
I hope
There's
so.
a lot of holes in that plan.
Especially the people living there that are like, we don't want this.
Yeah, please leave us alone. Coming up next, the 49ers breakout star of the upcoming season is going to be revealed in NF fill in the blank. Chris and I going head to head. Verlot always cheats and gives the victory to Chris Watkins. We'll see what happens next.
Time.
Yeah, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. Yeah, and then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan-Ho Park, if I remember right.
There's no way Chan-Ho Park was in an All-Star game. If he was, that's
okay. Kyle, if my man, I feel like it's. I could be
Chan-Ho
wrong.
Park was a 2001 All-Star for the Dodgers.
Bro. Oh, Chan-Ho Park sucked.
Well, Cal Ripken hit it out of Chan-Ho Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisa Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
It's been great working with Chris, but the time has come now for us to, well, take each other on, go head to head here. I think we have another exercise later in the show where we'll be doing the same thing. But we're going to go head to head here on NF Fill in the Blank, and Verlade is going to be the judge. And the reason I say all that now is because if you heard it last time, you know that I was robbed. It was it's totally unfair that I lost the last edition of NF Fill in the Blank to a guy who one of his answers was, I don't have anything.
Well, you got the 3-point question.
Literally was, I don't have an answer. And I lost to him last time. So I don't know. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I would just say, don't make excuses, make improvements. That would be what I said. It was one of those posters that was on the wall in my 7th grade class, and I would just look at it all day. Don't make excuses, make improvements. So Whitey, I'll give you the same advice.
You know what I have to say to that?
No,
I don't really have anything. I don't have.
Oh, you're coming out swinging.
Okay, well, you're trying to win today then. That's the winning recipe.
So this is NF Fill in the Blank, and here is your host, Chris Verlade. Good luck, Chris Watkins.
Yeah, I don't need it.
All right, fair game, guys. Number 1. Blank will be a bust-out star for the 49ers this season.
We're going winners first.
Who's going first, sir?
Let's go with Watkins.
Okay, that's.
I'm going to somehow go with Brandon Ayuk, who I feel like has been the answer to this question for the past 3 years. I just think Ayuk is ready to make that jump as the 49ers best receiver. I think Debo is kind of viewed right now, especially from the national perspective, as the 49ers best wide receiver. And I think Debo's a phenomenal playmaker. But when it comes to actually being a wide receiver, I think Brandon Ayuk, his skill set is a little more suited to that of the traditional receiver. You also have Brock Purdy being hopefully the Niners starting quarterback for the entirety of the year. He's going to be somebody who's going to throw the ball deep, not really like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Debo benefited a lot from Jimmy having shorter passes. Ayuk, more of a deep threat. I even have stats here for you. one of my favorite stats, average depth of target last year. Debo Samuel, 4.4 yards.
At 2:30. So can we just
4.4 yards for Debo Samuel, average depth of target last year. Brandon Ayuk, 9.8 yards average depth of target. That's almost double. Actually, it's more than double that of Debo Samuel. So I just think Brandon Ayuk this year with a more downfield throwing from Brock Purdy will benefit.
That may be right, Your Honor, and dear members of the audience. But I agree with what you said, that Ayuk's been the answer to this question for so many years now that it's like, would it really be we know that he's a really good player. Would he really be a bust out star?
He just barely got over 1,000 yards last year. I think he can get like 1,300 yards and 10 plus touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, last year he had 10, 15, and 8 touchdowns.
I think at this point we know Ayuk is a quality receiver, and maybe his numbers go up, but is that what qualifies as a bust-out star?
Chris Verlade will determine.
The thing that you have to remember is that the Shanahans, Mike before Kyle, they have a way of finding these diamonds in the rough when it comes to running backs. I know Elijah Mitchell's talented, and of course you got Christian McCaffrey, but Jordan Mason in his second year as an NFL pro is going to have, now he's going to have some help moving up the depth chart, but he's going to have opportunities, going to take advantage of them. And a guy that right now a lot of people are, wait, who? Jordan Mason will be the 49ers bust out star of 2023.
Good luck with that.
Whitey with the first point of the day.
What?
Watkins,
string running back?
Watkins himself saying Ayuk should have been the past 3 seasons, but wasn't. Next question. Colts rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson will be a starter by game number blank.
Go ahead, Whitey.
He'll be a starter by game number 4, and it's a terrible idea because he hasn't played much. The Colts, the owner, Mr. Irsay, was just saying over the weekend, we got to play him. We know he hasn't played much. It's going to be up to the coach, but we got to play him. When the owner is saying that for a guy you draft that highly, he's going to be playing soon. I don't think he should be. I don't think he's ready. I think it's a bad idea, but clearly they see him as one of the keys to their future, and they want him starting instead of Gardner Minshew, and I think it'll happen by week 4.
I saw some Anthony Richardson basketball highlights yesterday.
Yeah.
What a crazy athlete he is. Oh, my God. He saw him dunk from like 2 steps in from the free throw line. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to say he starts by week 12, which is their bye week is in week 11. So I think it's going to be that classic ushering in the young guy during that bye. I think Gardner Minshew is a phenomenal backup quarterback. I think he's probably the best backup quarterback you can have right now in the NFL. And I think he's going to be super solid for his entire time playing. I think it's just going to be a matter of, hey, let's get this young guy in, and Gardner Minshew isn't the future, but I don't think it's going to be because Gardner Minshew doesn't play well.
I'm going to give that also to Whitey for Chris Watkins using the word phenomenal and Gardner Minshew together.
Wow. Phenomenal backup.
Oh.
Phenomenal backup.
I may skip.
You can just say you don't know. I hear it works.
I don't know.
Well.
Watkins is a strong finisher.
Yeah,
that's true.
Very true.
Pro Football Talk is ranking the top 10 coaches in the NFL, and Kyle Shanahan should be number blank.
He should be number. This is me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he should be. I'd have to say number 4 because I think he actually is better than that. But you have to give credit to those who've actually won Super Bowls, like Andy Reid, Belichick, Doug Peterson, and even the coach of the Rams, Coach McVay. So I think he should rank higher, but given the fact that he hasn't actually won a Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan easily should rank as the 4th best coach right now in the NFL.
I just want to say that Whitey said he should rank 4th and then listed 4 coaches just for the record, just for the coach, just for the record. Hey, look, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to win. I'm going to say, I am going to say 4th. I do agree with Whitey's argument, though. I think that you just do have to give credit to the other guys who have won Super Bowls in the past. And, you know, that's just the thing that Shanahan's missing. I think X's and O's, he's absolutely a top 3 coach, but can't put him over guys like Andy Reid, can't put him over Bill Belichick. Nick Sirianni, how about that? The guy that took down Kyle Shanahan's team last year for the Eagles. I have those 3 guys ahead of Shanahan right now.
Going to give that to Watkins for the failure of the 4th, maybe 5th best from Whitey.
I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop nickel and diming. I'm going to let Chris make the decision.
You just said you can't rank him ahead of anybody who's won a Super Bowl. Then you ranked him ahead of at least 2 guys who've won a Super Bowl. But that's okay. Maybe I'm the only one who's really paying attention.
Maybe.
You know who's going to be a sneaky good team this year? The blank.
I have the Miami Dolphins as this team. The addition of Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb, Teron Armstead as well. I think the Dolphins had a great offense last year. You're going to throw, hopefully, if Tua can stay healthy, they obviously have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Also have every 49er running back who ever existed and isn't on the team anymore. They got Mostert. They got Jeff Wilson Jr. still. Possibly going to bring in Dalvin Cook. I think that defense is going to be the key to them taking a leap this year. I'm going to say the Dolphins are going to be a sneaky NFC East contender this year. How about that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be in your beloved NFC North, and I'm not going Detroit Lions. I think the Bears, this is what Eberflus, the 2nd year there, and I think they've got the system in place now running these wide zone scheme, and I'm a believer in Justin Fields, and I think they have the right people in place in terms of the GM. They've drafted well. So not a lot is expected of the Chicago Bears, but I think they're going to be a sneaky good team this year. I didn't mean necessarily they're going to make the playoffs. They have a shot, but they're going to be a sneaky good team. People are going to go, wow, those Bears, you know what? They're much better than I thought they were going to be.
Going to give that to you, Whitey. Going with the Bears. Also, the Dolphins are in the AFC East, Chris.
Did I say NFC?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely meant AFC.
See, I wouldn't even. I definitely called you on that. If I'd said it, man.
I would have destroyed you.
Go ahead and ask Rami if the Bears are going to have a good season next year. We'll see about that.
All right, but this is the last question where everything can change. The NFL team in the most dire need of a helmet design makeover is the blank.
I guess I'll go first. I have 2 teams for this, but I'll say the one that needs it the most is the Jets. I'm looking at their helmet design right now, and it is quite literally just them saying Jets in lettering, and they have a very old-fashioned, like, paint PNG looking football under it, and
I
that's
don't even
it.
know what that means.
It's just it just means like a stock image of a like a football. It looks terrible. It's very basic. Also, the Cardinals incredibly boring, and they just really need a whole whole image redesign for the Cardinals. But
Okay.
I'll say Jets.
Yeah. Those aren't bad in my opinion, but to me, there's no question it's the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, their original design, I don't know if you know this story, the original design, somebody sued them and said, hey, I sent that design to them. I made that, and the team lost the case. So they had to change their design, and now they've got this goofy-looking cartoon. It looks like, I don't know what it is. Is that a raven? And he's got the bee on the side of his head, which doesn't make any sense. And worst of all, if you look at his beak, this raven, he's got like whiskers. Birds do not have whiskers. It has always driven me crazy when I look at that. It's like, what are those lines coming out? Birds don't have whiskers. So the Ravens, I think they have a chance with Lamar Jackson back to have a great year this year. But that helmet design is they deserve much better. A team of that quality and that history with a really stupid cartoon-looking bird with whiskers.
You got me there, Whitey, because I have been saying how the Ravens helmet is trash for years.
Yeah.
Why are you going to even have like sort of a helmet on the side that's not the helmet that you're wearing? It just infuriates me.
Yep, that's fair. That's very fair.
Thank you,
I can
Chris.
admit defeat.
Thank you both,
That was a
Chris's.
good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Very spirited round. You're quite the competitor.
There is whiskers on this thing. What
I
is
know.
that? Like, what is that? Who decided? That doesn't
The
even make
whiskers
sense.
represent the hardworking people of Baltimore.
All right, coming up next, thank you, Chris Watkins. Thank you, Chris Verlod. Thank you for being with us. Coming up next, has Isaiah Thomas ever seen the Kings play? Next, Whitey Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable, fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowe's.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. About 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Yeah, that game last night, Summer League action, Clippers over the Kings. It wasn't much of a game, but I don't think it was this bad. On the YouTube chat, Nick Town says NBA needs to do something for Summer League. No excitement at all. And Ward responds with trampolines at the free throw circle.
Ooh, slam
Summer
ball.
League, right? Yeah, that would be kind of fun. But you just can't go into Summer League with much in the way of expecting a great game.
Yeah, no, you can't. You should not go to Summer League or watch anything Summer League and expect to see really anything that resembles organized basketball at all. It is kind of like it's like a glorified pickup game in a way. Like there is some structure to it, but especially like when you're getting in the meat of the game, second quarter, 4 minutes to go, third quarter, 5 minutes to go, it just kind of always ends up being a scramble and everybody just kind of exchanging shots back and forth, a lot of bricks, a lot of misses, a lot of turnovers. And the Kings really exemplified that yesterday. I think the Clippers played a relatively clean game for the most part, but Kings turned the ball over left and right, didn't really ever look like they had any groove. And I think the big thing has been they don't know where their scoring is going to come from. They were so reliant on Keegan Murray in the California Classic to get those high point totals that, you know, we've seen Jordan Ford have a 20-point game. Colby Jones last night had 19 points, but besides that, it's been a struggle for them to really have anybody to go to and just feel comfortable with the ball in there.
Yeah, the Kings shot just better than 34% on the three-point line, but overall, 37.3%.
Oh, okay. So that's good. They shot better from the field than from three. That's a good sign of things.
And yeah, Colby Jones had a nice game, good shooting game, 3 for 7 beyond the arc, as he talks about his ability to play, small forward, 2 guard, maybe a little point guard. He doesn't seem very comfortable with that. But our guy Jordan Ford struggled. That's the guy that we would love to see make the team, at least on a 2-way deal. And he was 1 for 7 last night. Worse than that, though, in my opinion, was the interview with Kings GM Monty McNair. That Isaiah Thomas and was her name Lisa Beington, something of that nature. I'm not familiar with her, and she was okay. She didn't seem like she was very experienced, but Isaiah, I got the sense watching that interview that Isaiah Thomas has not watched the Kings play since Adelman was
I don't
the coach.
even know. Yeah, I don't know when the last time he watched them play because he kept referencing the same things over and over. The game was like 7-2, like 8 minutes into the game, and Isaiah was like, you know what I love is the pace that they're playing with. The Kings love to play with pace and with speed and with motion. And it's like, dude, are you watching the game that's in front of you? Because there's no motion. There's no movement. Yeah, I guess they're playing with pace, but they're just bricking shots. He didn't know Neemias Queta's name. That tells me he literally didn't even do the research of watching their last game they played, where Queta was huge down the stretch. So if you would have watched the game at all, that would have been a name you've known. Obviously, if
You would
just
think.
just absolutely no knowledge. There was no insight at all.
I'm not expecting
it's just
like
terrible.
keen insight into each player's personal background, but you should know their names.
You should at least know their names, the pronunciation. Can you give me a quick tidbit on these guys? Like, that's Neemias Queta. He's their two-way guy. They're
they call
hoping
him
big
Neemias?
things.
Didn't they keep
call
calling
him
him
Neemias. They said Queta. They called him Queta a couple times, which is correct. Yeah, Neemias.
So that's where you just call him Q. Right?
Yeah,
If you really don't know.
Just say 88. Just say the big guy, the big fella. There's a lot of ways of getting around it, but there was no way of getting around the fact that that was a very rough broadcast to watch. Not only was the play terrible, you know what I thought was hilarious as well? As Monty McNair's being interviewed in an incredibly boring fashion, bad questions, and also Monty is not going to give any actual answers. The Kings then go on like a 0 to, or don't go on a 0 to like 15, 20 point run. They scored 6 or 7 points in that third quarter. It was just brutal. There was nothing, really nothing that we could take from the game. I wish that you and I can go back and forth right now on, boy, could Jalen Slauson maybe crack a rotation piece? There was nothing. There was really nothing except for Colby Jones had a pretty good game to take from yesterday.
9
That's
points
really
in the second quarter. The offense was not very efficient.
9 points in the second quarter.
Right.
Okay. That's even bad for summer league. Like that's really terrible. That's not something that people should watch. I would definitely hope that if anyone I hope nobody really sat through that and had anything better to do.
As I said, it's one of those games watching where I felt like I think that ball has too much air in it. At least the ball that the Kings have. And it looks like they're switching out because the Kings had 18 turnovers last night. And it looks like, guys are trying to dribble and the ball go, whoa, it's bouncing too high. The ball's just flying all over. Players are falling down. But hey, once again, that's summer league.
Yeah, it is summer league for you. And it was tough. It was really tough to watch. I hope Jordan Ford can bounce back tonight, because I think if he puts together another bad performance,
baby.
I think it is going to be it at least opens up the conversation of, are we sure that we want to? I mean, there was talk after that first game, like, forget a two-way, sign him to a minimum and make him the third contract and use the two-way on someone else. I think if he continues to struggle, that's when it's like, okay, maybe we can use the two-way on him, or maybe he is just a G League player. I don't know. It's tough to tell. I think he's got something there, but it's going to have to be putting together consistent performances for him. And, he didn't do it last night, so he's got to bounce back today. We don't know if Neemias Queta will be able to go today. Maybe Sean Cunningham, who we're having on at 12:30, will provide us some answers there.
Yeah, summer league is a lot less interesting, let's face it, without Wemby there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's not, I guess the story to watch now would be, I mean, Amen Thompson's going to be out. Scoot Henderson, they shut him down for the last game. I don't know what the rush would be to get Scoot back in the summer league. At this point, I mean, this is, I think we're watching like Jabari Smith Jr. maybe, if he's going to continue to play, or, Keontae George. There's not really much to take out of this summer league that I can find.
We've already gotten more out of summer league than maybe we could have expected, with Wemby playing well, especially the second game. And right before Wemby's first game, we had Jabari Smith with the incredible game winner.
Yes. Absolutely incredible. It's just over
right?
Portland. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to get any better than that. And it's really, that's why if you're poor Jason Ross, who just got to summer league yesterday, I think if you're not there for the opening of summer league, you kind of miss all of the fun, because guys are going to get hurt. They're going to only play 1 or 2 games and then sit them. This is more for the real hoop heads, the scouts, the GMs. This portion of summer league is more for them in terms of evaluating the talent that's out there and trying to, fill out the rest of your roster.
Coming up, should we think of Dame? Should we think any less of him for asking out of Portland? That's next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online, and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings. Hey, just wing it.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
We don't know where Dame Lillard's going to play this year. Should we think any less of him for asking out of Portland? We also don't know where the A's are going to end up, and it sounds like the commissioner of baseball, we've been talking about him far too much as it is today, he doesn't even really know what the A's are going to do before their new stadium's built and their lease expires in Oakland.
Yeah, I mean it's just a very it's just perfect for this situation that they still don't have any idea. It seems like all of this is just kind of being done randomly, and they don't really they're not thinking of the next step before getting the previous step done. It's all just kind of being done step by step, and then they're putting out fires as they come up. But still no answer as to where the A's will play next year.
A couple of tweets here from reporters. Evan Drellich says Rob Manfred offers no clarity on where presumed Las Vegas-bound A's could play in 25 through 27 before a stadium in Vegas is ready, is currently planned for 2028. And John Shea says, where will the A's play after the Coliseum lease expires? Rob Manfred said they have not made a submission on that topic yet. So they've just got so much to figure out here.
That seems like a problem.
Yeah, and it starts to look like on some level for John Fisher's like, we don't even care about any of that. We just want to have a plan in place. Doesn't even have to be a good plan. If we have that stadium plan in place by the deadline in January, then the other owners are going to have to continue to make us a revenue sharee. And then we'll figure the rest of it out later.
Yeah. It's
that's all we care about.
That's all they care about. It's ridiculous. I mean, it seems like something very simple. Like, so the lease is up. What's happening in between that time? It's somewhere will pop up. So many teams want their baseball team. We'll just pick one. I think that
shouldn't the commissioner say at least, there are a number of possibilities. They haven't submitted anything yet, but you know what? There are a number of very viable options there that we'll continue to explore, including we could play Cashman Field, blah, 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 blah.
Having no answer is not a good answer, especially when you're the commissioner of baseball. You should have some form of insight into what's happening, and just providing no information is it's very Rob Manfred, and it's very A's to not have any solution on it. But we've talked about it. Sacramento a possibility, is Henderson a possibility for them playing if they want to be closer to Vegas. The fact that there's no traction on that, it's very alarming, because it's something that they're going to have to solve. They got to figure it out. And I don't think, I definitely don't think that Oakland's going to be a possibility. There's no way they're going to do them any favors in that capacity. So, it's ridiculous that they don't have it figured out.
I have a feeling that the A's are going to be a road team for 2 years.
Just completely road team.
Hey, we don't really want to deal with it. Fisher doesn't want to pay for a place for you guys to stay. You guys will just be on the road all season.
The Washington Generals.
Remember the plan they had for Tampa Bay a couple years ago to play half their games in Tampa and half in Montreal?
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
Which is ironic, because didn't Montreal have half their games in Puerto Rico one season when they were about to moved to Washington.
They did do that. That's right.
Wow. So are you suggesting maybe I mean, they can't play half the games in Oakland, but all the games in Montreal, maybe? I mean,
we've crossed a line here on this because unless I'm forgetting something, there never has been a case where a team has been ready to move. Owners have wanted to move a team from one city where a lot of fans want the team to another city where nobody wants them.
The team, right? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's completely backwards. I mean, it's
Las
just
Vegas fans like, and A's fans are
like,
no,
please
yeah.
keep them here. We'll watch. We don't care if we care if they suck, but like, just get us a new guy and we'll watch a crappy team. We just really hate this guy. Honestly, that's again incredibly baseball for them to just kind of plow through that information. Any other sports league, there's not another sports league that would push through with that. If there is a fan base that actively wants them to stay, they're going to keep them in that market and then maybe expand to that extra market if they just really want to be there. But if there's no local interest in a place that you're planning to go to, what's the logic of moving there? It doesn't make any sense.
And I know that the A's are kind of the little brothers to the Giants, but still, this is market, what is it now, 5?
Yes. Yeah, as the Bay Area.
4, but I think it's like market 5, and you go from market 5 to Vegas, like where no one really wants your team. It doesn't make any sense.
Make it make sense, Rob. Make it like, and that's something that Rob Manfred is, again, shocker, failed to do, is explain why this makes sense for your sport. Why does this move benefit the culture of baseball? Why does it benefit the owners? Why should fans, even if you're lying and we can read through it, you've already lied tons. Talk about how, it's going to be so exciting. We're excited. Vegas is becoming a bigger and bigger sports hub. We're excited to get a piece of that action with like, he's not even selling the new location. He's just, I don't know. Yeah. We're going to figure it out. I don't know.
We're going to talk about Dame here. I know Portland. There are some people in Portland who've been pushing to get a baseball team up there. That at least would make on some level, all right, they want a team.
Right.
And the A's are not well attended, so that would make sense. But the Vegas thing is just like,
doesn't make
this is confusing.
I was looking at
confusing and wrong.
As I was checking, if I was going to go to Summer League, I was checking the weather. And, I was like, you know what it is? Like, it's peak baseball time right now. We're at the All-Star break. 111 degrees.
Okay.
How does that sound? Not great, right? I know they're planning on playing in the dome and retractable roof, but if you're going to play in 107, it's going to be 112 on Friday, 118 on Sunday. No thanks. It's just, I know they're not going to be outdoors, but there's just no way that's good baseball.
They have a partially retractable roof, although it doesn't appear that there's actually room for it.
There is no room for it.
It's a nice thought.
It is. It's a great thought.
We'll roll a tarp out there or something.
It's never been done before.
Go to Home Depot. We'll get a big, tarp. And we'll stretch it across there. And,
they haven't really talked about that much, but it is. There's no retractable roof baseball park that fits on anything less than 12 acres as currently stands. And as they've made it clear, they are planning at this moment to build on 9 acres. So they will be trying to do something that has not been done before.
I wonder if the A's even actually intend to actually move there and build a stadium, or if they're just like I said, we have this plan and this plan is going to advance our cause. It doesn't matter that the plan ultimately doesn't make sense.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
How about Dame Lillard? The Blazers now, and I think you touched on this yesterday. The Blazers are saying we'll wait months to trade Dame Lillard if we have to. We're in no hurry to help out the Heat or anybody. We'll take a long time to trade him if that's how long it takes for us to get back what we think he's worth.
Crazy.
But should we think any less of Dame Lillard for asking out after he was the poster boy for, he's staying in Portland. He's staying with his team. He wants to see it through. Then he wants out.
It's interesting. I think so. And whether that means, I don't think that means that we need to go complete 180 on him and go from, this guy's so great to, oh my God, how dare you? What a terrible person. But I think that some of the, his entire career saying, I want to be in Portland. I want to be in Portland. I love Portland. I love this organization. Some of that has definitely been soured with how he's treating his exit. And I know it hasn't been directly from him. It's been from his team and his agents and all that. But, this situation has made me kind of feel a little bit less proud of Damian Lillard. Like, it did used to really be a point of pride for him that he was going to be that guy who Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, all that stuff. And the fact that he ended up just being like all the other guys it's a little disappointing. It really is. And, I think Portland has done enough to try and cater towards Dame, but it doesn't really feel like Dame is appreciating what they have also done for him and making him the face of their franchise and trying to do right by him by every turn. I was kind of thinking, like, does Portland really owe Dame that much? Like, I know he's been the perfect example of somebody you would want to represent your franchise, but from the basketball side of this, like, if I can be a little harsh, like, what has Damian Lillard really done that warrants super duper treatment like what he's getting? Like, he's never won a title for the Blazers. He took them to a conference championship, which is fantastic, but you didn't see Jeff Petrie crying over trading Chris Webber. Like, sometimes things have to be done if you feel like it's in the best interest of your organization, and you can still be very thankful for the service that someone has done for you. But the second Jeff Petrie felt like Chris Webber wasn't going to help the team because of injury, he didn't get a great haul for him, but he wasn't afraid to move on. He wasn't going to say, all right, I know Chris is a Detroit guy, we're going to really try and get him to Detroit. He took the best deal he felt was there for him.
I never begrudge a player if it's his right. He's a free agent. He wants to leave. That's fine. We like to think guys want to stay in their city, especially if you root for that team. But to me, it's like, if a guy wants to go and he's got the right to go, that's fine. The thing with Dame that I don't think less of him, but I don't admire the fact that he seemed to be kind of indecisive about it. And this is a huge decision that impacts everybody, most of all him. But he's staying. He's like, he's not sure he's staying. And then he'd have like cryptic things that he would tweet and post to Instagram.
Yes.
Even years ago, like, well, does that mean he's going to the Lakers?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not necessary. Whatever your decision is, bless you. But just own it.
Right.
I want out. Even now, it's like, does he want to? And he clearly has asked out, but it's been a little, he hasn't made any declarations. I'm going to stay. Remember when he signed, there was, he kind of was it was confusing to hear him talk about why he was staying.
Right.
He should just, yes, I'm staying. Or when the time comes, no, I want out. My time here is done. It's been great, but I'm requesting a trade. Just own it, whichever one it is.
Absolutely.
When it's kind of got a foot in each camp, it's confusing. And then I feel like you're wasting my time.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like, to tie it in with Dame's extension, if I'm Portland, that's another reason why I'm like, I'm not going to do you any favor. You could have done us. If you knew you wanted to be out, why did you sign that massive contract extension?
So I'd get my money.
Yeah, but now it makes the situation for Portland way tougher. If he would have been on the deal that before the extension, he would have this year at $45 million and next year player option at $48. That's not a great contract, but at least you're still you're able to move on from that. With him signing the 2 extra years, one at $58 million and one at $63,
Blazers are hamstrung with those numbers.
That's a really tough thing to move. And you could have just done them a ton more favors if you would have asked to move before signing the extension, especially if you clearly knew that moving was an option.
Yeah. Free agents are free to leave. Bless you. Good luck. But just
if you got a contract, you got to stay.
Declare what you're going to do and then just do it.
Yep.
And then we'll sort it out from there.
Yep.
Coming up next, we head to Vegas for a Kings Summer League update from Sean Cunningham. It's Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports, and he is next.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday forecast certainly is going to feel warmer, especially if you work outside this afternoon. We'll have plenty of sunshine, light southwest winds, highs in the mid-90s with overnight lows in the lower 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $79. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have two pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Duvall, to represent the team tonight. And on the east side of the Bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, the Sacramento Kings lost an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins with our guest, Sean Cunningham of Fox 40.
If there was ever a year that should convince baseball that you shouldn't necessarily have an all-star from each team, I think this would be the year, right?
Yeah. Bless Brett Rooker, but I don't really know if the A's deserve an all-star this year, especially after just the on-the-field stuff, off-the-field stuff. Just feels like maybe just skip this year.
Yeah. As Chris mentioned, we're going to head to Vegas now. Nice enough to join us, Fox 40 reporter, producer, the one and only Sean Cunningham. Sean, thanks for joining us here. I want to ask you first thing. I know you've been going to Vegas for Summer League for many, 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 many years. How much have you seen it grow over the years? How different is it now from maybe the first year you went down to watch the Kings play in the Summer League?
Oh yeah, I mean, what's up, guys? First of all, good to talk to you. Yeah, man, this is like something that's just become almost like All-Star Weekend in a way. Only it lasts like way too long. It just becomes this like gathering spot for all things basketball, not even just NBA. I mean, you've got the business of basketball, everything that surrounds not only the NBA, but, you know, partnerships and international basketball and you've got free agents out here holding workouts, and it's the NBA and basketball is just a nonstop business until you get to about maybe a point in August or September before unless it's a FIBA international year or something like that. But yeah, man, everyone just like has descended upon Las Vegas. It just becomes a destination, and it's silly in a lot of ways because you have a lot of bad basketball, but you've just got a lot of hoops fans that are just so they just live for this. I know some people that love this element of basketball better than the actual NBA season itself because of the drama of the off season, the possibilities that happen, the movement, the transactions. Like that's just its whole other different type of season. Then you've got the Hard Knocks feel, which is like these are undrafted free agents. These are guys that you could literally see some of these guys at local YMCAs and pickup games and maybe neighborhood legends or something like that have kind of made a name for themselves and maybe open up an eye or two and find opportunities all across the globe. So I'll give you an example, not to ramble on too much, but I was at a workout yesterday with something I'm going to release later today. I got to sit down with Harry Giles for about 20 minutes to talk about him hoping to, at 25, pick up his NBA career again. And now he has this new rule that was created by the Players Association, his agent, and even Jason Tatum, his best friend from Duke, that helped create this rule because of his injury. He lost some eligibility as a part of a two-way contract. And so now he has two-way eligibility for a team. And joining him there was a guy you guys know, Dion Waiters, trying to land with the team. And it was surreal being in a middle school gym in Las Vegas and watching these guys work out.
Wow. Sean, how to kind of build off Whitey's question there, how we were talking last week about the ticket prices for what Victor Wembanyama's debut was going to be. And, I'm pretty sure the Kings played their first game as Wemby's first game was going on. So I don't know how much of that you actually got to see, but just in terms of the environment that you feel in Vegas, does it feel like this year is something a little bit different with the Victor Wembanyama stuff kind of going on around it?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's a key ingredient. I mean, this is arguably, in my opinion, I think it is. It's the most heralded rookie with this much hype in the last 20 years since LeBron James. And I've seen the way people react to him. And let's not forget, like right before Summer League gets underway, you've got the Britney Spears incident with him inside the Aria outside of Catch Restaurant. So I think that even adds a little bit more intrigue. But yeah, I mean, you see Thomas and Max sold out to watch that first game with Wembanyama and Brandon Miller, who obviously people got to see at the California Classic, and it does even nets a rating as the highest summer league game ever on ESPN and on television. So yeah, people are incensed. They want to see this guy play, and he kind of stumbled out of the gate in that game with the Hornets, but then follows it up with a really fine performance against the Trailblazers, the game that I was at, and you got to see some of the good and the bad and some of the ugly, and obviously there was quite a bit of good that happened in that, and the crowd just absolutely reacting to it. But it isn't even just the crowd. I mean, you see NBA executives, you see other coaches, they're all looking at this kid like a alien that's been dropped in the middle, and he's just everyone's looking at him and they haven't seen anything like him. And even though you've seen tall people before, to have the movement and the range of mobility that he does and the dexterity that he does, it's really impressive.
Sean Cunningham with us, Fox 40 reporter and producer. So along those lines, Sean, what were your first-hand impressions of Wemby, and how did they compare to your first-hand impressions of the Summer League debut of John Brockman?
The Brock Ness monster.
Yeah,
see the very
because I was there for that. So
he was fantastic. I like to hold the Brock Ness monster into some high, limited space from some people that can't attain that type of acclaim. But man, it's funny. It's just like I said, like to see people react. I happened to be at the King's Hotel to introduce Chris Duarte the other day, and waiting. Wembanyama as close as I had been to him, and he comes walking through, and I immediately I asked a stupid question that I get asked a lot by maybe people or casual fans that are absolutely perplexed as to how tall people make their way through life. And I'm like, man, do they have a bed for him at this place? Like, sleep on the floor? But then watching him play, like, I mean, you instantly get it. And television, in my opinion, I was telling one of the scouts that I like to talk to was saying, like, it does no justice for him. You see some of the things that he likes to do with the basketball, the handle that he has. You watch him move off ball. It's really entertaining. And watching him warm up, just some of the stuff that he likes to. I mean, he's working on his shot a lot. Like he's in love with the outside shot, even at 7'3", which is 7'3", I think it is. But like, you know, he doesn't stay around the hoop so much. But then in the game, he's able to, you know, just grab everything from over people and just put it down again. So yeah, he was a monster, man. It was fun to watch.
Sean, I know you've covered Jordan Ford since he was in high school at Folsom. Yeah. You know, he was a chess prodigy when he was a kid. He's the second highest scorer in St. Mary's history, and now he's having an opportunity to make his you know, his childhood favorite team. What is your favorite thing about Jordan Ford and the Jordan Ford story?
Yeah, I really like the fact that like he kind of idolizes Steph Curry a lot, and for a guy that doesn't have nearly the story that Steph does, I mean, he put himself around him a great deal. You know, he coming up at St. Mary's, he was introduced to him at a young age, and you can kind of see in the way he plays. There's some you kind of emulate some of his game after it. After Steph, and obviously he doesn't shoot like Steph, but the one thing I think he realized he could really take advantage of, and you know, scouts will say, what's this one guy elite at? Like, if you look at any basketball player, what does he do really, really well? And to me, it's always been his handle, and I thought he had a great handle in high school. I never looked at him and thought, oh, that'll be an NBA player. And I thought it was fun to hear Luke Laux kind of use the story of, you know, the Modesto Stockton native Gabe Vincent, who just signed from the Heat to the Lakers and finally got his payday after his really wild journey from undrafted to G League to maybe barely a roster player to actually signing a real contract and then finally getting his payday. And Luke Laux sees that in someone like Jordan Ford. And, you know, even honestly, and, you know, I might have a little bias after, you know, having known him a little bit, but I still didn't think, I thought him being on the Stockton team last year was a huge feather in his cap and something that could propel him forward, and ultimately thinking that, you know, maybe he'd be able to sign overseas and have an opportunity there and kind of follow and make some money. But now I think people are looking at him a little bit differently. I think, especially with now having another two-way contract available for teams and having the ability to, you know, maybe extend more than just a training camp invite to him, and even possibility of being a third or fourth guard on a team, I think might be the next step in his evolution. And certainly I feel is more possible than ever. And I didn't really think that could be a possibility a year from now. And seeing just the steps he took and Stockton's success, I think really stands out. It's not just, it goes beyond stats. Like, he's kind of a winning player. And you watch what he did with the Stockton Kings last year and some of the familiarity he has. And if you've watched maybe some of the early summer league games here in Vegas, not necessarily the classic, but some of that two-way familiarity he's had with some of those guys like Comanche and Keita certainly stands out. So yeah, I think everyone looks to him as a leader. He had a little bit of a taste with the Clippers, and he's eager to kind of build off of what he experienced with the Clippers and move that forward. And I heard people from the Clippers literally last night who they played, and granted that game was dreck. It was one of the worst summer league games you'll ever watch, but
terrible.
There were people from the Clippers just saying, man, he's really taken a lot of strides in the 2 years since he was there. So fun to see. I didn't look at him once as an NBA player. He actually might be.
Hey, Sean, we appreciate your time. Before we let you go, one more here. How pleased do you think the Kings are to this point with what they've seen from Colby Jones?
Well, I think they have to be thrilled. I mean, especially as a second-round pick, to see a guy who comes in and really plays a style of basketball where it's rare when you can see a guy like that and go, I can see where he can fit, not even on a roster, but even possibility of being like an actual rotational piece. Like, I can see him, you know, not only hitting a shot, bringing the ball up court, having a little bit of a playmaking ability, but his rebounding to me has been really impressive. So to me, I mean, certainly there's a lot of room to grow, and the NBA will probably be a huge jump for him. But yeah, I see it. I see why Monty McNair called him one of the top two-way players in the draft. I've heard a ton of people say that they're floored he went to the second round. And yeah, he's been a lot of fun, Whitey. I honestly think I can't wait for training camp, because if he can build off of this, I thought he was sensational last night. Maybe it was because he was the diamond in the rough of how bad that game was, but boy, he was super impressive. I've been impressed by him, and I like his demeanor. He's got a kind of a pro demeanor already. He doesn't have these like wide eyes and wow, this is the NBA, and he's kind of taken by the glitz and the glamour. He feels like he belongs, and he looks really comfortable.
Sean, we appreciate it, brother. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you again soon. Have fun in Vegas.
All right, anytime, guys. Take care.
Sean Cunningham, Fox 40 reporter and producer. Coming up next, draft days is coming up. Chris and I compete to draft the best teams of players in honor of Wembanyama with the longest last names. We've got rules, all right? We've got ground rules. It's a competition.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got rules about hyphenation.
You're ready, but are you ready?
I'm definitely ready.
We'll get to the hyphenation rules. Next, draft days is coming up next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, playing last year in AAA, Brent Rooker said the last thing on his mind was making an All-Star team. Well, now he is an All-Star, named to the team as the A's representative before the last game of the most recent homestand against the White Sox, and he punctuated that announcement by blasting his 14th home run, a 441-foot shot to straightaway center field. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right.
TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply, subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
In honor of Victor Wembanyama's Summer League debut, his professional, or at least American professional debut, Chris and I are about to go head-to-head today in a draft days dedicated to players with the longest last names, which begs a question, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I know we have some ground rules we have to go over before we proceed. Chief among them is the hyphenation question.
Yeah, I mean, like it just adds and subtract. If we do hyphenations, it definitely adds to the pool of people that we can pick from, and it probably makes this draft a little bit more fun. Or if we want to be very, very hard nosed and make it gotta be Lawrence Funderburk.
Are you okay with going 10 letters? Has to be 10 letters long.
10
last
letters,
name.
yes.
Has to be. So it has to be players, basketball players, all time. Don't have to be active, with last names that are at least 10 letters long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would like to include hyphenations.
Okay.
I would like to include, I just think that makes this draft, makes the pool of players a lot better.
Obviously, you're going to draft Timothé
Luwawu-Cabarrot. Yes, that is first on my list, and that's why I wanted to clarify first.
All right. How do we determine who goes first here?
Well, you won the first one, the first game we played earlier today, the NFL in the blank. So
I will pass. I'll let you go first.
There we
then
go.
We'll go down the list, and then after 5, I'll get 2, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Sounds good.
Snake draft.
Snake draft.
All right. With the first pick in the players with long names draft, Chris Watkins selects.
Thank you for hyphenations. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay. I will
UCLA.
take. Yeah, UCLA.
Actually, wasn't that Alcindor from
okay,
UCLA?
Chris. Okay, let's. Does Alcindor still fit?
It is.
Yeah. No, it does not. Okay. Yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I'll go. Wilt Chamberlain. Will be my first selection.
Okay.
In the players with long names draft. Back to you.
It's a great one. This one's a tough one. I'm going to go with the guy who probably, is the best current player with a long name. I'll go Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Adarumbo. Okay. I'll go with Shea Gilgeous Alexander.
Okay. Just got to make sure I got to count some letters here. 1, 2, 3.
You should have done that before you came to
the
draft.
Dang it. I wanted Hakeem. Elijah doesn't quite fit. We will go with, now might be where things stop getting fun. I'll go with Michael Ray Richardson. How about that?
Is that is Ray? See, it's not hyphenated. Is the Richardson? Is that one? Dude?
Michael Ray? I guess not, huh? Yeah, I was thinking Ray Richardson. Dang, you got me there. I'll go.
Well, let's go to Chris Verlotti. He'll be our judge.
Nope, gotta go. There's no hyphen.
Right.
The hyphen was the important part.
It's I'll go.
So they pull a Vikings and forfeit the pick here? Or do we give him another one?
That's a sore subject. We did get Kevin Williams out of it. I'll go Jonas Valanciunas. Jonas Valanciunas.
Oh wait, so this is more than 10? More than 10 letters?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just 10. It can be 10.
Okay, because Richardson, isn't that 10 letters?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it is.
All right, you're in then.
Okay,
all right.
I'm taking it. Michael Ray
apologize.
Richardson.
My bad.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Richardson. I will choose, you've probably heard of this guy, Amare Stoudemire.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
that is a
fantastic. So I got Wilt, Shea, and Amari, and you got Kareem, Giannis, and Michael Ray Richardson.
Yes.
You guys have some big lineups.
I'll add to the height. And how about this? I'll go Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, I didn't even have him on my list. That's a good one.
Okay, this is another one, though. Technically, it's Karl -Anthony.
Oh, well, then that's no.
Yeah, no. It's last names.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
That's why I didn't have him on my list.
All right, I will go.
You don't like that. You know it's you even called yourself on it. You know it's not true.
I know. Let's go with how about this? We'll go King Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Nice.
We'll go with
one of my wife's favorite players.
Really?
We sat behind him once at a game, and she was making such a fuss that somebody next to Sharif heard her and said, "Hey, you should say hi." And he turned around and says hi, and she
really,
yeah, she was
awesome.
so happy. He was a really nice guy. Appreciate that. I'm gonna pick Jason Richardson. You have Michael Ray Richardson. I'm going Jason Richardson.
I just figured out
J Rich.
This is 10 letters. Getting off on a technicality here. Meta World Peace. World
Judges.
Peace is his last name.
Judges? No, it's not though.
Is Peace his
It's
last
all.
name?
He doesn't have a first name or a last name because it's not hyphenated. But I will.
Well, remember he changed his name again.
He did. It's actually Sandiford Artest currently.
And that does go in the rules.
It is Sandiford
Meta
Dash.
Sandiford Artest.
But he didn't. Okay. All right. So that's who you're picking?
So I'm picking.
Yeah.
Are we trying to do point? I was going positionless here.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Positionless. So is this the last pick then?
This is your last pick, yes.
Okay.
So you're going back to back here.
Okay. I will go Sharunas Marshallonis.
Okay.
Speaking of former Kings. And then I will take Victor Wembanyama.
Sneaky guy. This one waits until his last pick. Sneaky. Well,
that gives me I have 6. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I guess we did this wrong. Whatever. Fine.
Go 6. Go 6 men.
Yeah, we'll go 6 men. I'll go. Man, this list is getting real tight for me. I will go.
I have some suggestions for you if you want.
Okay. Feel free. I was going to go Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
That's actually who I had down.
Cool.
Either him or Jerry Stackhouse.
Cool. I'll go Kentavious Caldwell-Pope then.
All right.
And then do I get an extra one or are we
You're done. You're done.
You're done. You're done. You never be nothing.
Now what's your team, Chris Watkins?
So my team is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Heard of him.
I have Giannis Antetokounmpo,
All right.
Michael Ray Richardson, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace.
Sandiford.
I have
Artest.
Wilton Norman Chamberlain, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Amari Stoudemire. Who else did I pick?
You put Victor Wembanyama.
Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama.
Wemba what?
Yeah.
Wemba
Sharunas Marshallonis. Oh, Jason Richardson. That was
Jason Richardson.
That's
Jay Rich. That's
Jay Rich.
I think you went 2-0 today. That's what I'm going to say. A lot tougher exercise than you would. It's not easy to just look for people with long names. There's only a couple articles of like people. Here are the longest names in NBA history, and even that doesn't have all the necessary ones. So this was more about research.
I would love to see Giannis and Kareem on the same team going up against Chamberlain and Wembanyama.
Yeah, other guys I had on my draft board: Billy Cunningham, a little before your time; Rudy Tomjanovich.
Okay.
Dave DeBuscher, and I did have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
KCP.
So, But we were thrilled that
Two-time
Wemby
champion.
slipped to us.
I mean,
our last pick.
That's incredible. That's great value. That's clearly other GMs weren't doing the necessary research, and that's why Whitey Gleason continues to be the best in the business.
All right. Thank you.
Unfair.
Yeah.
I'll get you tomorrow.
Next time you pick the category.
Okay.
If you got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's going to help me at all, but yeah, we'll see.
I didn't break a sweat. I mean, I got to be
That was
honest.
easy. That was way too easy. I can't believe it. I mean, I crumbled. I took
Sharif
Michael Ray
Abdul-Rahim.
Richardson. I took Sharif Abdul-Rahim. So I just got to be better tomorrow. I'm disappointed. Yeah. Okay.
Coming up next, which 3 free agent deals and trades will have the biggest impact on the 23-24 season, and which of the moves that we've been discussing the last couple of weeks will end up being a dud? Next, Whitey, Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov. Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down this Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it this Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Sammy Hagar in the Circle. Friday, July 14th, the Lake Tahoe Outdoor Arena at Harvey's. The party you don't want to miss. Sammy Hagar. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and 8concerts.com. Don't miss Sammy Hagar in the Circle.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Chris Verlotta with your Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have two pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Duvall, to represent the team tonight. And on the east side of the bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost in an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Thank you, Chris Watkins. He said that I won our draft of NBA players with the longest names in honor of Victor Wembanyama. Chris said I won, but people on the YouTube chat say none of you guys,
both losers.
Neither of you clowns won because nobody picked Peja Stojakovic. I would like to point out sometimes, we will leave out a player to see if people listening, watching
are listening.
Yeah, I can't point that out, honest. I'd like to be able to point that out, but that's not what happened. We just
unfortunately
whiffed.
Like I said, it's tough. You can't just Google. Try it yourself. Google players with long names. There will be a couple things, but most of them will be hyphenated. There is no direct you can search by characters and 10 character minimum. There's nothing like that exists.
I'm guessing Charles Bartholomew, he probably didn't look it up. He probably just knew it.
Yeah, no, he probably just knew it. That one, I'm trying to make an excuse, Whitey. You remember when I said don't make excuses, make improvements? Well, I'm still making excuses.
I might be.
That's why I'm the bad boy of media.
Yes. I might be okay with it if we hadn't each picked a former Sacramento King and neither of us picked Peja, because I had Rooney and you had Sharif.
And I had Meta.
Raheem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I had so I had two.
That was very shaky.
Yeah, you can't have three Kings.
Yeah, right. So it is actually Whitey's fault. I reached the Kings limit. You had an available Kings slot on your team, still didn't pick them. So
true.
Maybe I should maybe you know what? You're right, Whitey. I did win that round. You're right.
Nobody won.
Yeah. We're definitely both losers for that one. Sorry, we'll do better. Yeah, we'll do better next time. Sorry.
Who are the winners of free agency to this point? I know there's still some, there's still a few T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted by NBA teams, but we've been talking so much the last 2-3 weeks about this guy signing with them and this guy getting traded there. What are the three to you that stand out? These are going to be the most impactful free agent season deals or trades when it's all said and done next year.
I mean, you got to go with the biggest one that has happened so far is the Bradley Beal to Phoenix thing. I mean, whether it's going to be, overall leading them to a championship, which they hope, or anything, it's going to be the most impactful just in terms of that's another team that is now realistically really in there for finals contention.
Also had that number one on my list.
Number one answer. Hey, good answer.
And it's going to create a lot of excitement too. I want to see how that works. I don't know that it's really going to help them overall, but I want to see it.
It's intriguing, right? I mean, I want to see how those three guys are going to work. Are those three just going to score and everyone else is going to average under 10 points? I think there's pretty much anything on the table, and I know they still have Ayton as well, but it just feels like those three are going to be, Durant, Booker, and Beal are going to be the three that a lot of people are focusing on.
Kevin Durant. He was on the Thunder for so many years, and they built that team, right? And I understand if this is the case, didn't really like playing with Westbrook, but he was there a long time, and they built a team over a number of years, a team that went to the finals, lost to the Heat, and almost knocked off the Warriors the year they won 73. But then he failed to recognize the importance of that. Then he went to the Warriors, and he was just kind of latched on to their wagon. But that was a team that they had built over the years. So they had success, and he plugged into that. And since then, he's just going to these groups.
Mercenary.
Yeah. And he's not playing with teams that have been together for a long time. And somebody who knows basketball as well as he does, you'd think he would recognize that.
If I had to psychoanalyze it, I would say this is probably the problem that people have with Kevin Durant having these burner accounts on Twitter, where he's clearly spending a lot of time concerned with what people think. And I think that has played into his basketball career as well. I think after losing in OKC, it got to him all of the finals chatter of, hey man, like, you want to be considered one of the top 20 players of all time, you have to win a title. And I think that's just been in the back of his head this entire time. He gets the titles in Golden State. He's like, okay, look at me now. What do you want? People will say, those are Steph's titles. You doesn't really count. It's an asterisk because you just went to a super team. And now then he goes to Brooklyn and he's like, okay, fine, I'll make my own team, but I'm going to bring Kyrie because I know I need help. And you're right. It's just been ever since that Oklahoma City team where a team was really built around him. He's just been going place to place, essentially trying to skip steps. He's just trying to join a team, win a championship without going through
shortcuts,
trials.
Kevin.
There's none.
I agree with you. I would
impossible.
suspect that when he left Oklahoma City and people criticized him so much, I think he thought, you know what? People say that now. When I go there and we win a championship, then that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Everything I did will be justified. And he went there and he won a couple, but still people said, nope, boo.
Doesn't count.
And I don't think he knew what to do about that.
I think so. I think he really did think that was going to be the end all be all. It was going to shut people up, and Kevin Durant would only be praised after that. But if anything, it really just made it worse for him. I think he created a lot of adversaries in that, and kind of me included for a couple years there.
What?
It was just,
You included?
I was not. If news at 11, I was not happy to see Kevin Durant join the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry and continue that greatness. Wasn't a big fan of that happening. And I think that turned off a lot of people. I mean, the same way you saw when LeBron went to Miami, it just was a hard line in the sand for people at that point of, I don't like this guy because, you know, he's jumping to a title team and not trying to build something. I think that's kind of stuck with him his whole time.
Jerry West was at Summer League yesterday, and he was talking about that. He said, when you sign a big name player, you have to have the foundation there. And he referenced LeBron going to Miami. He said, yeah, they had LeBron and Bosh, but he said they kept Dwayne Wade as a free agent that year. He was already there. They'd already won.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said the foundation was there.
Right.
And that's the problem with some of these moves that Kevin Durant has made. Like
He just went to Brooklyn. There's no reason why. It wasn't like they were the best team. Phoenix, similar situation. There was somewhat of a they went to the finals, but
if you want to win a championship, he should know what that takes, how hard that is.
Well, I think that's kind of, if you want to play devil's advocate, I don't think he does know what that is, because he kind of got an easy route in Golden State. They really didn't struggle much at all. So I don't really know if he does know what it takes to get through and grind to earn yourself a championship.
Yeah. I would have thought he would have learned in Oklahoma City, but maybe not. All right. So I agree. Beal's number one. What do you have number two? Second most impactful free agency season, signing or trade or move?
I have Marcus Smart going to Memphis. I think
Marcus Smart is hard to God.
He is had to God. Very had to God, Marcus Smart. I think that him, you know, it's kind of was forgotten about in that Porzingis deal, but yeah, Marcus Smart goes over to Memphis. They're not going to have Ja for 25 games. I don't know if that's going to be the best opportunity for Marcus Smart to showcase his skill. I think he's not really somebody who's a lead guard, but once Ja Morant gets back and it's a Ja Marcus Smart backcourt with Desmond Bane as well, I think that's really, really scary. And to me, Marcus Smart is a perfect culture fit for Memphis. He's the kind of guy who brings that grit and grind mentality and isn't selfish. He's been on winning teams in the past. And, you know, I shouldn't say isn't selfish, because Marcus Smart does like to take jump shots when he probably shouldn't. But he's a guy who is, at the end of the day, going to be somebody who risks and sacrifices his body for the team. He'll dive on loose balls. He'll get in people's faces. I don't think he's going to be somebody who's going to be afraid to tell John Morant. Yeah. He wants to win basketball games, and I think it's a really big step for Memphis to get a guy like that.
That's a good one. I have at number 2, this may be high, but I have Chris Paul to the Warriors.
I thought about it. I definitely thought about it. I think whether it be positive or negative, I think Chris Paul is going to have that signing is going to be, that trade is going to be huge this season.
Right now, he is, in my opinion, so much better than Jordan Poole. And I know a lot of Warrior fans are upset that Chris Paul, we don't like him and he's older, and Jordan Poole is the future and he scored 20 points a game, but he just, whether it was the punch or whatever caused the punch, he did not fit there. He's not an efficient player. And for where they are right now, where they're not as concerned about the future, they have been the last few years.
Right.
That didn't work out, but they're about trying to win right now. I think CP3 makes that team better.
Yeah. No, I could see it. I think especially just if we're talking year to year, I don't know if, Jordan Poole might be the better individual talent, but I do think Chris Paul is going to bring something to that Warriors team that they desperately need.
He doesn't turn the ball over,
on winning.
And they turn the ball over like
way
crazy.
Too much. Yeah, they're way too frivolous with the ball. And Chris Paul, I think, is going to be a really steadying presence for them. It's just how much impact will he actually have?
And your third most impactful free agency?
I kind of cheated here, and I said the upcoming Dame or Harden trade. I think whatever the fall.
You didn't kind of cheat. You cheated.
I did cheat. Yeah, I'm a cheater. I'm cheating. I just think that
we don't even know where they're going.
But when it does happen, it's gonna wherever they go. I think it's going to have a huge impact on what happens next year in the NBA season. It could completely eliminate Philly as a true title contender. Also, if Dame gets moved, it's going to usher in the Scoot Henderson era. And I actually think if Dame gets moved, Portland might not win a lot of games, but they could be one of the funnest teams to watch on League Pass this year with Scoot running the show.
All right, I've got my third most impactful move. Plus, we'll look at our free agency duds and a very positive sign for the Kings on a night of dreadful basketball. That's coming up next year. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. Yeah, and then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan-Ho Park, if I remember right.
There's no way Chan-Ho Park was in an All-Star game. If he was, that's
okay. Kyle, Zeus, if my I feel like it's I could be
Chan-Ho
wrong.
Park was a 2001 All-Star for the Dodgers.
Bro. No, Chan-Ho Park sucked.
Well, Cal Ripken hit it out of Chan-Ho Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar. And while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Three most impactful free agency moves trades. Chris Watkins had Bradley Beal, most impactful. We'll see. I'm with him on that. Number two, I had CP3. You had Marcus Smart. Yeah, I had Chris Paul, CP3, Marcus Smart. Thirdly, I had Bruce Brown, and you completely went off the rails. Third, I have Bruce Brown going to the Pacers. I think Bruce Brown is an excellent player. He's going to help them a lot. He's going to get to start there. Maybe you could argue they overpaid him, but I think he's a great fit for them and what they're building there. And you went off the rails with something that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, I don't really have a good excuse except for I just didn't think anything was going to be that impactful. The free agency class, we talked about it tons when it was happening, didn't really do much for me, and there wasn't much movement in it. And then the trades haven't really been too plentiful, but I guess if there was a big mover, it was Bruce Brown. I just personally don't think Indiana is going to be very good next year. I don't think it's going to have much impact on standings and all. I think Bruce Brown is a fine player. I don't really love him as a starter, but I like him as like a 6th or 7th guy. So it'll be interesting to see how he helps Indiana, but I do think it's going to hurt Denver, if anything. I think the biggest impact from Bruce Brown will be the fact that he won't be there. And he was a guy who was just really steady and would make tons of winning plays for them, especially in the playoffs. So
he made a big difference for them. He made a big difference for the Nets
before
that.
Absolutely.
Before he went to Denver.
Absolutely. I was a big fan of him on Brooklyn, and I think he'll be fine in Indy. It's just, I think Bruce Brown, and I said it in his free agency, he's a guy who's most impactful and best on a winning basketball team. Like if you're a finals team or a finals contender, I think Bruce Brown's the ideal person you want out there. If you're a middling team, he's gonna average 12 points per game, maybe like 5 or 6 rebounds and a couple of assists, but I think you can find better starter quality guys.
Yeah, I understand your point that there really weren't a lot of overwhelming moves. I mean, we'll see, but doesn't look like there were. And we had talked about that before free agency even started, that the class looked a little underwhelming. Did you consider, I didn't put it down, but did you consider the Sabonis extension?
No, I didn't. I guess I probably should have, but no, I didn't really consider that in there. It is big. I mean, the fact that the Kings get to have him now under team control for the next 5 seasons is huge. They don't have to worry about next season having to find success, because if they don't, maybe Sabonis will reconsider. All of that's gone now. You can just focus on building around Fox and Sabonis. I think they did good steps towards that this year, but no, I think it is true, though. I think Sabonis probably will be that extension, not next season, but, moving forward will be incredibly impactful, obviously, for the Kings.
Did you, as I did you have to count the letters in his last name to figure out?
I did. Yeah. Yes. Cause I was like, maybe I could do, that could be a double. You can get Arvidas and Domas, but I think it was 7 letters.
Yeah. Some people on the YouTube chat are saying, hey, how come Shea wasn't picked? Marshall Knox. Well, he was. Okay.
He was.
We missed on Peja, but we're not total idiots.
Yeah.
We may be dumb, but we're not stupid.
Yeah. I guess I probably could have gone Hito too, as well.
I don't know.
I don't know how to spell Turkaloo, but I would imagine there's a lot.
I don't think. No.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I can't tell you. I know there's a lot of
letters.
Peja
was a whiff. Peja was a miss.
Peja is a big whiff on that. That's definitely our bad.
What do you think?
Turkaloo is 8.
Yeah, not quite there.
Geez,
yeah.
Okay. Tough game.
What?
It's really hard.
What do you think will end up being the biggest dud of free agency?
I
go
hope
first if you want.
I hope this counts. Go ahead and go first, because I hope mine counts.
This is kind of more in one move, but I think what Houston did ultimately is just going to not matter. Like signing Fred VanVleet for a ton of money and Dylan Brooks, to me, it speaks to what they're trying to do. Is like, we've got young guys, we'll get veterans, we'll plug the veterans in, and boom, we've got a team. But I just don't think it's a great fit. Dylan Brooks offensively really hurts you. He's going to take shots from some of the other guys you'd rather have shooting. I mean, they got guys like Jabari Smith still trying to find his way in that offense. Then you got Fred VanVleet, a good player, not the most efficient player. I don't think I see what they're trying to do. To me, it doesn't fit.
I agree. I think that's a great one. My dud is Jeremy Grant staying in Portland. 5 years, $160 million contract, $30+ million per year. It doesn't make sense either way. If Dame stays or if Dame goes. If Dame stays, well, you've just locked yourself into Jeremy Grant and Damian Lillard as your core. Don't know how much Jeremy Grant's going to do for you in that sense. $30 million. There's nobody who is going to pay Jeremy Grant $30 million. If Damian Lillard leaves, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious why that's a bad deal. You've locked yourself into this guy for way too much. For 5 years, also 5 years. That's the longest contract that was given out this free agency was for 5 years. For them to feel the need to lock him down for that long, it's just really strange, especially if you're going to have an incredibly young team around him. I don't know what you're hoping to get out of Jeremy Grant. I think if you are leaning into guys like Shaedon Sharpe and Scoot Henderson, Chris Murray, Anthony Simons, you shouldn't want to take shots and opportunities away from those guys. And I think Jeremy Grant is just, I mean, he's stuck in Portland. Like, nobody's going to make a move to get Jeremy Grant out of there. And if they move on from Dame, I just don't understand what his role is going to be.
Maybe they looked at it. I'm with you, but just trying to figure out what they're doing. Maybe they said, look, if Dame stays, we're good. We're going to be a veteran team, and he'll be a big part of that. If Dame goes, then we've got to have a veteran on the team. We've got to have some kind of stabilizing veteran. And while he wouldn't be my first choice for that, maybe that's what they were thinking.
Maybe, but even then, why are you paying him 5 years, $160 million? I just think that's a little
what it costs
excessive.
to keep him, I guess.
I would let him go then. I would definitely let him go, and I'd say you guys just made our Dame decision for us. I guess we're going to rebuild.
Yeah, I wonder if they were bidding against themselves on that too.
I think so.
So many teams have seen it.
And there's a good chance that Jeremy Grant, knowing the situation, used it as leverage. He was like, seems like you guys don't really know what you're going to do with the Dame situation. Probably make it a whole lot harder if I'm not here, huh? Like if I'm not going to be here, it's probably really hard to convince him to stay. So he definitely had some leverage in it, but $30+ million per year. You can say what you want about the money going up, the cap going up. It might not be that big of a hindrance. Jeremy Grant is not that guy.
Just think when the Grant family, they have some sort of celebration and they have pickup basketball in the driveway with that family, with Harvey and Horace.
Yeah. I think, did he have a brother? I think Jeremy has he has a brother as well. Yeah,
I mean, Notre Dame, I think, and I thought he was going to be a really good player.
Yeah, I think, that's up there with the basketball. We're just with sports families in general for sure. I mean, the Grants. I actually didn't know that Jeremy Grant was a part of the Horace Grant family.
I believe he is. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's quite the Thanksgiving pickup game that they're getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
How about last night?
Dinner's on Jeremy.
80-70 Clippers over the Kings, but a good night for the Kings in that Colby Jones played very well with 19 points, hit 8 of 13 from the floor.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
On a dismal night.
I think it's telling that, I think Colby Jones played okay. I think he was clearly the best player from the Kings last night, but it's pretty telling to me that Sean sounded really high on him, and I've been kind of meh on him, but Sean's seen him in person and really seems to like the things that he's seen from Colby. I think he's shown that he's definitely a solid guy. I think he's got a lot to work on. I think he's really not excellent at anything, but he's really solid at a lot of things. So it'll just kind of be figuring out in the NBA, what is his game and what does he do best? What does he bring to the floor? I think that's kind of what he's still trying to figure out.
Jeremy Grant is the son of Beverly and Harvey Grant, former NBA player, has 3 brothers, Jarian, and Jalen.
Yes,
Grant's
Jarian.
uncle Horace played college basketball at Clemson, 4-time NBA champion with the Bulls. 2 of his brothers, Jariah and Jarian, are also professional basketball players.
Jarian was the point guard at Notre Dame, and I thought Jarian was actually going to be a player at one point.
I did too.
I'm surprised that he didn't make it.
I remember before the draft, watching his mixtape and thinking, "Hey, I'm drafting that
There's
guy."
something there. As a matter of
Not a
fact, random tie-in. Jarian, there's this infamous play here, at least for Sacramento Kings fans. Willie Cauley-Stein in the NCAA tournament had a play where he guarded somebody, a point guard on the final shot of the game, guarded them 90 feet all the way down the floor, all the way to the corner, and I think blocked his shot in the corner. And that was like the Willie Cauley-Stein play where it's like, this guy can guard
5 positions.
1 through 5. He's incredible. You don't find guys like this. The guy who he's guarding was Jarian Grant. That's what I think of.
I didn't realize that.
Yes. Yep. Really random. The one thing about Colby Jones I do want to talk about or at least point out, very, very concerning. It was the one thing that stuck out to me most about his college stats. Jarian Grant. Colby Jones so far in Summer League in total is 5 of 12 from the free throw line.
Wow.
He went 2 of 5 at the California Classic. He's gone 3 of 7 here in Vegas. In college, he shot 67%.
I had no idea
from the free throw line in 3 years.
That's remarkable.
Very, very concerning, especially from a guy who, if you're going to be playing, especially in limited minutes, you're going to have to knock down those free throws. If you're shooting, I mean, that's 41% that he has shot in the Summer League so far between the Classic and Vegas. that's something that just, it has to be shot up to at least 75%.
As you know, that's usually a really good barometer as to whether a guy is a good shooter. I remember when Jordan Poole as a rookie was struggling mightily, he was still a phenomenal foul shooter.
Right.
It's like the guy can shoot because he can make free throws. Colby Jones, his 3-point shooting before last year was not very good. Last year he shot the 3 ball very well. Well, I didn't know that. That's wow.
Very concerning.
Yes, it is.
Very
Not alarming, but concerning.
Yes, especially when you, like you're saying, when you consider, okay, is his shooting for real? I think his catch and shoot looks good. It looks like something that can be semi-reliable. Maybe he can knock it down 37, 38%, but the off the dribble stuff doesn't look there. He's got a good floater game, but if he has a good floater game because he's afraid of getting to the rim and or being fouled, that becomes, Ben Simmons has similar fears where he's afraid to drive to the rim because people will just foul him and send him to the line. If Colby Jones can't get to the rim, that kind of eliminates him as any sort of guard potential.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll work with him if you want. I made
Please.
67 in a row in my driveway,
Wow.
not actually regulation.
Okay.
And I made 99 free throws in a row in my sister-in-law's backyard, not actually regulation. So I'll work with him.
I know in our mini hoop you go underhand. Are you
That's just because
our roofs are
the ceiling's too low.
Tiny. I was just making sure.
Thank you. Seriously, thanks for pointing that out. I had no idea. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that.
Yes, definitely something to keep an eye on. Can Colby Jones hit his free throws at 67% in college is terrible, but
if he's done at this level,
he's 41% right now in summer league. Can he hit 60% by the end of summer league is something I shouldn't be hoping for, but it is
nice
kind of
to have
where
goals.
It's nice to have goals.
All-Star game tonight coming up. Do we even need All-Star games anymore? Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis. It eludes Gobert. Drive strong, two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Colby Jones with 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, playing last year in AAA, Brent Rooker said the last thing on his mind was making an All-Star team. Well, now he is an All-Star, named to the team as the A's representative before the last game of the most recent homestand against the White Sox, and he punctuated that announcement by blasting his 14th home run, a 441-foot shot to straightaway center field. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Come experience the AHRMA Classic Moto Fest of Monterey, where vintage and modern road racing, trials competitions, flat track, and motocross racing will take place all in one weekend at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, July 14th through 16th. This event will include a swap meet, bike show, cycle corral, and other family-friendly activities. Tickets are available by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200, or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports headlines. Tonight is the 93rd Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Seattle, Washington. The San Francisco Giants will have two pitchers, Alex Cobb and Camilo Doval, to represent the team tonight. And on the east side of the Bay, DH Brent Rooker will be representing the A's. New York Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole will be getting the start for the American League, which is the home team, and Arizona Diamondbacks' Zach Gallen will be getting the ball for the National League. At Summer League, Sacramento Kings lost an ugly game to the Clippers last night, 80-70. The Kings will be back in action tonight when they face the Chicago Bulls, with tip-off scheduled for 7. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Before we get to the All-Star Game, I want to remind you to get to SactownSports.com. Check out Emil's 11 early impressions of Summer League. That's got to be the best name of anybody here in the building, by the way. Emiliano Fragoso.
Really rolls off the tongue.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful name.
I'm a big Frankie Cardicelli. Cardicelli actually is the
Cardicelli.
I thought it was Casparelli.
Casparelli.
Emil's 11 impressions from the first weekend of Summer League. Wemby will be fine. Brandon Miller a bust? ? Scoot Henderson could win Rookie of the Year.
Someone's been listening to the show.
Amen Thompson has all NBA potential. Rockets may be better than we thought. Cam Whitmore proving them wrong. Danny Ainge did it again. So did Sam Presti. Bilal Coulibaly is one to watch for the future. Colby Jones is a gamer, and it's just NBA Summer League. So read all about it. SactownSports.com. Emiliano Fragoso breaking down early days of Summer League.
I'll have to ask him why 11. There's got to be a reason why, right? Why not just 10? Why not a nice, perfect round number? Why's it got to be 11?
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
you'll have to read the story to find out.
I guess so. That's what they call a tease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's just the impressions he had. I think he just left his.
He just left it all out there. I guess he had 11 of them.
Scoot, I don't know. Scoot Henderson, he could be Rookie of the Year, but how about Brandon Miller a bust? ? Brandon Miller a bust already?
I mean,
we're going there already.
I think. I'm not willing to go there yet, but he's given that crowd a lot of material to work with. That's what I'll say. I mean, he's definitely looked tough, or it's been a rough look for him in his first couple Summer League games. He's definitely shown some ability there, but I think it's just not as clearly not as good as what people would want or would expect, but he's shown some signs there of maybe, like Dwayne Baker pointed out a lot earlier in the show with talking about Kessler Edwards, he could definitely be somebody who benefits a lot more from playing with actual NBA talent, because he at this point I think is a little bit more of a shot catch and shoot kind of guy and not necessarily create my own jumper kind of guy.
On the YouTube chat, Nick K and Rippin says All-Star games are like summer league exhibition games. They're unwatchable. As we get ready for the All-Star game tonight, obviously it's nestled in a good part of the TV schedule where there's not much else going on. Do we even need All-Star games anymore? The reason I ask is because when you look back at the original All-Star game baseball, it was an idea that was supposed to be for the fans. We'll take all the best players and put them in one game. Now we have free agency where that's not really an issue.
Exactly.
And before it was like National League, American League. Well, now the lines between the leagues have blurred, not just in baseball, but in all sports.
Right.
And, NFL now has pretty much abandoned an All-Star game.
Yep.
And players don't really want to do anything that put them at greater risk of getting injured. I know we need something to watch on TV, but I don't know if we need All-Star games anymore. It's kind of sad, but I think that's just where we are.
Yeah, the games themselves, I don't know if we need. Like, to your point, nobody really does a good All-Star game. I would say that the MLB All-Star game is probably the best one and the one that's most true to the actual game and sport itself. But what we watch basketball, the All-Star game, no defenses played. Jason Tatum scored 50 points. I think it was 173 to like 150 or something like that in this past year's NBA All-Star game. You mentioned the NFL. They don't even want to actually play football in their All-Star game anymore. It just seems like it is kind of something that's meant more for the past, because it was an element of you're never going to see this collection of guys all on the same field at the same time. You don't want to miss out. They're going to be giving their all. What's it going to look like when Michael Jordan really goes up against Larry Bird and Magic Johnson? And, what's
those guys used to actually, they'd wait till the fourth quarter, but
sure.
They would compete.
At some point, they would compete, and you would get an answer to, okay, who is really the best NBA player out there? Who feels like they're the best NBA guy out there? You would, I think there still is an element in baseball to, and I heard the guys on the morning show talking about it this morning with, Garrett Cole is going to be starting today. He's legitimately going to try and strike out the first three guys up. And the first three guys up on the NL are legitimately going to try and hit Garrett Cole's pitch. It is truly going to be a baseball matchup. So in that sense, that All-Star game still works, but I think there is still why should fans tune in to this entire game? Because, they get subbed out every 2 or 3 innings or so. So you're not even getting a full game. It's not perfect, but I think it's the best one that's still in place.
I think they're just outdated. I'm not saying that things were better then or these guys don't care. You can't blame them, those who don't care as much as guys used to, because they're making so much money now. They don't need money.
Yeah.
There was a time when players needed the extra money from the All-Star game.
Right.
There's a time when in baseball, the National League really wanted to beat the American League and vice versa. Now guys are, there's barely any difference between the leagues. So again, I'm not saying it was better in the old days. I'm just saying All-Star games are kind of, I just don't know that we need them anymore.
Yeah, and there's not the element of this is the only time you'll see these guys. Like maybe if you live in LA, you can't see, Aaron Judge play. We have MLB TV, we've got NBA League Pass, we've got Sunday Ticket. We can watch these guys whenever we want. So it's not even really the shock of, oh my gosh, we get to see these guys play. And then, like you said too, like with free agency, these guys kind of end up creating their own versions of all-star teams anyways. It's not really much different at all than watching a regular season team play. Like there's just not the draw or the appeal that's there anymore. And especially now, you're not just fighting against other sports. You're, in terms of entertainment, you're fighting against, okay, why should I watch the All-Star game instead of watching season 2 of Ozark? Like there's just no reason why. There's no intrigue. There's no pull there to get people to have a reason to tune in.
Basketball All-Star game, I find myself relieved when it's over. So I finally,
yes.
And then now we have a few more days off, and I get it. Players need days off, but yeah, let's get back to the regular season.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, the All-Star game. No,
it's a stop. And you're right. Like, I understand that the players need that break, especially in the middle of the year to quite literally break things up. But, from the fan perspective, it is just an element of like, can we get back to the actual regular season as it was just kind of starting to heat up. And, the All-Star game just doesn't really have any, the only need for it is it does get the communities of people together. And you can, I'm sure the MLB owners are having meetings, and at the All-Star weekend is when the commissioner gives his state of the state address and all that stuff. So there's use for the weekend, but the games itself, I have a tough time extracting any value.
I think you're right. I think baseball is the best of them still, which is good because baseball right now is
it's got to be good at something, right?
Yeah. Can I ask you an All-Star trivia question?
Sure. I won't answer it well.
Willie Mays played, I think he played 23 seasons. He was an All-Star 24 times. How's that possible?
I have absolutely no idea. Was he an honorary All-Star when he was 60 years old or something?
24-time All-Star.
Was he
21 or 22 seasons?
How could this work? Did he make the All-Star for an AL team and then get traded to an NL team, thus making him a 2-time All-Star in 1 year?
Well, the trick of it is, and actually, as I look at it now, I think maybe he might have been. They used to have 2 All-Star games. That's the trick.
What?
They used to have 2 All-Star games. Yeah, from like in the early 60s, they had 2 All-Star games.
What was the logic behind that?
One of them was to allow the players to make money for their pension fund or something. Players wanted to have another one. So it's like you have your regular.
It was a fundraiser.
Like a cash grab. Yeah.
It was essentially a fundraiser.
Another one that was well, this would raise money for the players in their pension fund. And now, the union's so big now they don't. But yeah, they used to have 2 All-Star games in the summer.
Did they try a bake sale first? Those things work pretty well. You go to your local school. Somebody.
Those must have been so good because they wanted to put on a good show because they needed the money.
Right. Yeah.
So what does this even make? I
know.
I don't know, man. 60s. That was the 60s that happened.
You got to remember that's back when you're paying like a quarter to go to the game.
That's also a good point, right? That's bold. I mean, we think our All-Stars are bad. I can't imagine how having 2 All-Star games would be like, oh man, we're doing this again.
I don't remember that, but I know it's true. Yeah,
that's terrible.
Coming up next, Rami's going to join us for the crossover, and of course, story time. Next, Watkins and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Cunningham. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowe's.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Valid 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
So, Chris Watkins, you're not pining for the days when they used to have 2 Major League Baseball All-Star games a summer?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there we go. Definitely not.
Yeah,
definitely.
You don't even want to talk about it. Huh?
No.
You don't even
I was
say
like,
anything about it.
hope this thing's not on because I don't want to talk about it. 2, like, it's just
there were 2 All-Star games played each season from 1959 through 1962. The second game was added to raise money for the players' pension funds as well as other causes. The experiment was later abandoned on the grounds that having 2 games watered down the appeal of the event. But yeah, so that was
how did they feel about 162 of them?
Yeah, Willie Mays, I think 22 seasons, 23 All-Star games.
I mean, that's pretty cool, though. Just say that you made more All-Star games than actual seasons. Like, that's not, I don't think anybody else can say that.
Yeah,
right?
You know who I bet is pumped for the All-Star game and wishes there was like 2, 3, 4, or 5 of them every year. Robbie!
How are you, boys? Actually, I love Major League Baseball's All-Star game. I do. I enjoy it. It's the only sport where you get like the actual sport. Right. You know what I mean? Like in the NBA, they're not playing defense. No. In the NFL, that's literally
not even
flying. And now it is flag football. Yes. Like people would throw that around like for hyperbole. Oh, like, oh, these guys are basically playing flag football. It actually is flag football now. In baseball, you know, you're getting pitchers that are going up there and pumping out 100 miles an hour, and these guys are taking hacks and they're trying to win a ball game, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're a fan of baseball, you're seeing the best in the world at the game actually competing at the actual sport and not some watered down version of it. So for me, it's the best All-Star game that's out there in the world of sports. I love baseball more than any other sport, so that factors in. But for me, it's the best of all the All-Star games.
How do you guys feel about it?
I don't need 2 of them, though.
Still a casual, so I'm not entirely sure if this is still how it is. Does the All-Star game result still count towards who gets okay?
Yeah, no, they nixed that like 1 or 2, not recently. It was just within the was it that That long ago?
Yes.
It feels more
but
recent.
they've done it for a long
time. And that was the thing I never understood is why would you like, I mean, I guess it adds.
I'm the only
reason
person
to
in the
play.
world that was in favor of that.
That was an overcorrection to the All-Star game that ended in a tie in Milwaukee. And folks were like, "Where does this not mean anything anymore?" So then Rob Manfred was like, "I'll make it mean something."
I believe that was Bud Selig.
Bud Selig. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was Bud Selig. He was like, "I'll make it mean something." And so he put home field advantage in the World Series on it.
Don't worry. I'm sure that Manfred will come up with something that's worse than Bud
Something
Selig.
real stupid.
You know that there was rumors at the time, I have to track these down, that one of the reasons they didn't finish that All-Star game, there was one of the teams had a pitcher on, he was available, but he glug. He was drunk off his behind. So they didn't want to. We can't continue the game with him out there.
Don't blame him. That's the best reason to continue the game. I want to see this guy go out there and do the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, you're an all-star. Let's see how good you are.
I can't believe David Wells was an all-star game.
You and JJ, I know, be talking home run derby, but did you enjoy the derby?
Honestly, I was watching it here in studio, and then guys, I'm going to be real with you. I'm a pretty honest and transparent guy here on these airwaves. I still haven't adjusted to West Coast start times. So my mind just goes, okay, I'm going to go home.
Yep.
I meditate every day when I get home. I'm going to walk the dog and I'm going to start dinner and then I'll turn on the game or the home run derby or whatever it is. And by the time I did all that, it was over. It was
You're like
over.
Vladdy's
So I
releasing
saw
the
like,
trophy.
the first 2 rounds here and then I got home and it was over. So I just watched highlights on YouTube which really it's a home run derby.
Exactly.
The whole thing is a highlight show. So yeah, I mean, I that's another event that I do love, even though I missed it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the home run derby. That's just
I do too.
freak athleticism on display, watching these dudes bomb after bomb after bomb. It's amazing.
Well, speaking of highlights, here's one of the highlights of our day. It's story time with Chris Verlot.
All right, I'm just going to get right into
Good.
this
All right.
because we just have enough time for one, but this is amazing. I found it today. This is courtesy of Las Vegas 8 News Now. NBA Summer League isn't the only excitement hitting the street this week. And unfortunately for this man, what happens in Vegas gets told to everybody everywhere because it is hilarious. At approximately 11:22 on Sunday, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department received a report of a fight near the Bird Bar at the Flamingo. When police arrived, the fight had ended, and the man that started it, Brian Danilchik?
Sure.
Brian Danilchik of West Babylon, New York, had fled the scene. Video from that shows Danilchik engaged in an unprovoked attack on another person who only had one leg, according to the police report. After being pulled off the person, Danilchik fled to the Link Hotel. Security officers at the Link told police they saw Danilchik removing his clothing, and when they tried to detain him, he ran away through the casino, yelling and fully unclothed.
We're going striking!
That's when police said he headed to another casino, the Harris Casino. That's where police say the man jumped on top of a poker table, quote, gyrating at everyone passing by.
Hello. This guy was having a good time.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
That is when security was able finally to take Danilchik into custody.
So what'd you say the name was? Not Sean Cunningham, right?
No, it was not.
Swear.
I thought it was. I asked when Sean was on. I asked him like, "Hey, did you hear the story in Vegas?" And he's like, "Jason? Was that Jason?" Sounds like a Jason move.
It does. Either one.
But security said he appeared to be in an altered mental state.
No.
But he was cooperative. As police continued their investigation,
No, he wasn't. He ran through three casinos naked and then jumped on a poker table and started gyrating.
As police continued their investigation, they said Danilchik became more lucid, but did not remember the incident. He was taken to Clark County Detention Center, where he faces charges of disorderly conduct, indecent exposure, and battery. He is no longer being held and has a court appearance set for August 17th.
That's amazing. That's a night in Vegas.
That is getting a lot in.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Is it like it's your last night? There's like, oh, I want to do everything that I haven't done. I got to do it all.
I got to attack
get
a
in a
one-legged
fight.
guy.
Yeah.
I got to run through 3 casinos naked. I got to jump
Get
on
on
a
a
poker
poker
table.
table.
I got to get arrested. I need to do all. I need to do it all. I need the full Vegas experience.
I'd say he did it.
Yeah,
Speaking of
for
the guy
sure.
with you mentioned somebody had one leg in that, right?
Yes,
Correct.
the guy he
Yeah.
assaulted.
Years ago, 18 something, there was a baseball game. I kid you not, a railroad company. They had a bunch of people who'd lost arms building the railroad, and a bunch of people who'd lost legs, and they had a baseball game between them.
Really?
Yes, they were called, and the guys with one arm were called the Snorkies, and the guys with one leg were called, of course, the Hoppers. Who do you think won? I'm not making this up.
I'm going Snorkies. I think Snorkies over
wasn't
the
even,
Hoppers.
They destroyed them.
I would say the Hoppers.
No, the Hoppers had no chance.
You have to know how crazy you sound right now.
Yeah, the one-arm guys killed them.
I mean, how do you swing the bat?
How do you run, Chris?
Wheelchairs? I don't know. Like crutches?
Prosthetic?
Just bunting? Like the other team's just I don't know.
I'll find more details on
Please.
that. If you care,
I do.
We can
Yes.
touch on it tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see if I can-
Sounds like the setup to a bad joke.
Rami and JJ, have fun.
We will, gentlemen.
They are next on Sactown Sports.
What we do.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you